Hello and welcome to AffiliateCon Virtually Live. I'm your host Tim Paul from Gambling Insider, and I'm here to bring you all the action from today's Wednesday 21st of July edition. We have a schedule full of exciting and engaging affiliate content for you, starting very soon with Tal Ron's return to AffiliateCon. He's got an all-stars panel for us. After that, we've got an affiliate interview, a day in the life of a casino streamer with Josh Green. We follow that with another affiliate interview, How About Bingo with Wayne Howe. And after that, we have casino gurus Shimon Vincze joining us to talk about responsible gambling in the affiliate sector. Finally, to close up, we have another affiliate interview, the ups and downs of being a casino affiliate with Mark Taylor. So as you can see, we've got plenty of exciting, fresh content for you. And without further ado, let's go straight to Tal, who's got an amazing show for us. And he's going to just take it away with his fun and confident personality as normal. Over to you, Tal.
We're an AffiliateCon, the third AffiliateCon, guys. And you know, I have memories from the first AffiliateCon. I remember the guys from Gambling Insider told me, listen, Tal, we have a new project for affiliates. Because we know that, there are many events for operators and events, the B2B operators. And we want to have an event for affiliates. We'll do it in a cool place which is called Sofia. Do you know Sofia? I said, yeah, it's okay. It's like, I like Sofia, but it depends where. And then let's have it there. We'll have the singer from the Eurovision. I think that Bulgaria won the Eurovision or I don't know, had a very good contender. And what do you think? I said, okay, why not? If these guys, cool guys, Julian and Gary, tells and calls Tal comes. So in 2018, I think we ran the first Tal-Ron panel. It was a really interesting panel. It was a keynote panel in Sofia in the AffiliateCon. Since then, and we're now in the third year, that they give me the opportunity to actually choose experts that I can recommend, that I vouch for, that they can be business partners, they can be friends, they can be clients, suppliers of our firm, but people that I can recommend about them personally. This is why I'm really proud and I'm really happy to have here people that normally are very, very busy. Sometimes they're so busy. Jeffrey finishes his work, I think at 8 or 9, goes home, and then at 1 and 2 starts to answer me emails. So all of these guys are very busy, but they freed time to join me here for the third AffiliateCon. So thank you guys for joining me. Thank you. And I also want you also to be aware, also all the viewers here, because not everybody is aware the connection between the AffiliateCon and the Gambling Insider guys to one of the most prestigious awards in the industry, the Global Gaming Awards. And a part of being constantly one of the judges there, I'm telling you that companies that won there, it's not a coincidence. They have probably some of the best services in the gaming industry. Now they have the one for the European markets and for North American markets. And I really urge you, once everything is over back from the corona, to see what's going on there, to nominate yourselves. And that's also for the delegates. And hopefully we'll all meet together soon face-to-face. That's our introduction. Let me just explain who are you here. I believe that many of you already know the companies of the speakers here. Some of you do not know the faces. So I think that it's important. So let's start. Let's start probably with the ladies. It's the best. Let's start with Viktorija from ConnectPay. Viktorija from ConnectPay. You know that ConnectPay became a household name in the EMI industry, and I think, probably most of the people know what's an EMI. EMI is, I can call it a virtual bank or a digital bank, but I think that for most people that are operators, affiliates, or B2B providers, they don't need anything except an EMI. They don't need a place to say hello to the banker and cash the check. But of course, there are uses for OCBC, DBS. We can touch it in a different panel. Viktorija is in part of ConnectPay, which is part of or probably one of the leaders or one of the fastest growing EMIs in Lithuania. They're now number 3 after Revolut and the Paysera, who have been there for ages. And I'm really happy to have Viktorija here. And Viktorija is actually the chief CX officer, the head of customer experience, which also means something about the team and the company, that they have a dedicated person, a very talented person that deals with customer experience. So thank you, Viktorija, for joining me on this panel.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Next, we have Emily Helmer. Emily Helmer, probably the youngest on the panel. You can never ask a question like that, but maybe she and Viktorija are the youngest. Can I say maybe Dmitrii is also? I sometimes really have a bad eye for ages. Someone knows things that someone is either 10 years younger or 10 years older. So let's skip that subject. But Emily Helmer joined our team in January 2021. She's our head of compliance and emails and services as our team. She studies law in one of the best colleges of law in Israel. And she actually deals with both the compliance onboarding of clients and also dealing directly with our best merchants. And thank you, Emily, for freeing your time.
Thank you so much, Tal.
And leaving Mayan and Liat at their desk and coming here to speak with me here.
Thank you.
So thank you. Thank you so much. Emily, thank you. Then we have my friend Dimitri Grushanov, Guniashov. Grushanov sounds different. Grushanov, is it a name like that? Or did they invent an Eastern European?
We just invented that.
Invented Grushanov. But say, Dimitri, we have a feedback there. Or someone, I think that we have a feedback. No, we don't have a feedback. I heard myself like with a feedback. Okay, Dimitri Guniashov. And that's the name. And you know that with a double I, you know that it's very specific, right? If you have a double I in your name, where did you come originally?
From Russia.
Russia, yeah. So some of them you can write it with double I, some you can write with the I, some of them like Yulia can go with an I. Like if you see Viktorija with an IJ, you know that she came from the Baltics. Now, what is cool about Dimitri Grushanov is in company, first of all, as you see, he's a modest guy, he's a humble guy, but he's a very clever guy. And that's lots of Eastern European are like that, but with Dimitri Grushanov, is also with a big reason. I think that his company, not only they're very competitive with what they offer to clients, they're probably one of the longest companies in the crypto business. And that's important to understand. In this business, there are lots of cowboys. And I'm sure that also Gonzalo will tell you there are lots of cowboys also in affiliates that ask you for prepayments and don't deliver at all. Yesterday I was in a team of there was like a WhatsApp team of they send a picture of someone supposedly based in Bangkok, and he looks like someone who's I don't know, very holistic and very shanty, and he asked for $10,000 prepayment for lease, and then everybody speaks about that. So and he's a cowboy probably. I'm not mentioning names in the crypto business. I think there's the largest amount of cowboys ever. People that open a crypto exchange, put, I don't know, a monkey, they buy an Ukrainian passport for 200 euro, an internal passport for another 100 euro. And then, when shit happens, they run away. And these people are existing in each and every industry. But I think that in the cryptocurrency, probably it's one of the larger. And I'm very happy to have Cryptopay here on the panel and an example with someone who works by the book. And also my clients really, really enjoy working with. So Dimitri, thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for having me, Tal.
Thank you so much. Then we have Mr. Jeffrey Romano. Mr. Jeffrey Romano, Jeffrey sounds like a very British name, but Romano sounds totally Italian. And as you can hear from the accent, he's 100% Maltese, which probably one of my favorite accents that I like. I like it how it sounds. It sounds really unique to my ears in Israeli. Because I speak both Arabic and Hebrew, so it sounds like a mixture. So Jeffrey Romano, actually, he did not originally, came from finance or gambling. He came actually from the humanities. But he has such a bright mind, so he got very, very, very easily into finance and into marketing and into service providing. And he's actually leading all the marketing efforts of FinXP. And FinXP is the nice feature about, even you see, I never heard about FinXP before my client spoke about them. And I say, what is FinXP? Is it WinXP, Windows XP? Where did they come from out of nowhere? Actually, ConnectPay were like that 1.5 years ago. Yeah, before I met, Solius and Edgaras and these guys. I never knew about them. But then I saw clients working with you, and then that happened. Same came with Jeffrey. Jeffrey and his guys, 7 years already in the business. I was never aware because I had a really silly name. And then what happened? I think that Jeffrey and their team changed the corporate identity, chosen the name FinXP, placed a really cool branding made by Josh Okok, and I think it's great and growth gurus. So thank you, Jeffrey, for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Tal.
Great. And last but not least, my friend Gonzalo. But I think before I move to Gonzalo, I still hear myself. So I think the best if each one of you put on mute, so we will not hear the feedback. If it's okay with you, can we do it? Good. And then we can find where is also Emily. Good. And then we can see where does the feedback come from. I hope no one has like their I don't know what. Let's hope it works. Okay, let me try now. Okay, Gonzalo Jusid, that's his name. He's actually, as you see, you'll think that he's international. He looks like, I don't know, a Latino American model for I don't know, advertising cigarettes or cigars. Thank you, and sorry, Gonzalo. And it's good that he's on mute. Probably he's cursing me in heart or by speech.
Little bit.
Yeah, exactly. But Gonzalo is very famous because he's also an affiliate working with the best names in regulated gaming. He's also a developer of applications for clients, tailor-made solutions for the clients, and doing really, really good stuff for them. They have 25 employees already. They work from Ramat Gan, and they're expanding all the time. And we've been the lawyers for several years. We're helping them for all their legal needs, and we're really, really happy to get Gonzalo here. So that's the introduction. That's the introduction. Every time where I introduce these people, you know, or every time it's different people, I got like comments on LinkedIn. What an introduction! What an introduction that Tal gives. And I don't know if it's okay or it's not, but that's me. That's good because I think and I say all the time what I think with no filters. Great. Now let's start business. Let me ask each one of you one by one. How do you and the business give extra value to your partners or suppliers or clients that differs from the competition? And that's important to understand because there are lots of providers out there. Let's start with Mr. Guniashov. We spoke about the Cowboys, but let me give the microphone to yourself. Let's hear from you. How do Cryptopay? Yeah. The mute. I will need to remind everybody about the mute, and that's fine. It's my job. I will remind you. Thank you.
Thank you. So we've been in business for 8 years and serving our clients. We think the biggest and the most important thing is trust. So we always put our clients first and trying to go the extra mile to make sure we deliver what our clients expect us to do. I think customer support is very important area as well, and making sure all the day-to-day and longer-term demands or issues of our clients are solved. For us, we're not the cheapest provider, but I think competitive commercial is very important because some people just trying to make it everything for free, which ends up, well, normally ends up badly. I think that's the most important thing from ourselves. So thank you.
I can tell you something very, very, very funny. You know, when you say, Dmitrii, we spoke about it, I think, because some of my clients, you know, moved to you from other providers, also, you know, doing cryptocurrency processing. And the funny stuff that they have been expecting that if they're moving to a UK regulated company that gives you like, you know, lots of extra services, they'll pay like much higher, you know, fees. At the end of the day, they actually, and fees is not everything. We all the time discuss it. The service and the quality and whatever you get is, you actually, and without going into numbers, because none of my business, but actually you're very competitive also on fees. And it's something that you always remember, which is really cool, that I find your service actually not only like good on the quality and the service, but also competitive on fees, which is not all the time the case. I can tell you, many of my clients will agree to pay higher fees for getting higher service, and that's fine. And with your company, it's actually it's like a win-win, which is cool. But I'm not telling it to you to raise the fees. I'm just telling you the feedback that
one important thing to mention: we're not regulated in the UK, although we're registered and waiting for the outcome of our application to the FCA. But yeah, we know that we try to make it as competitive as it gets without undermining the service we provide.
Exactly. That's another point to mention. Thank you so much, Dmitrii. Thank you, Dmitrii. Viktorija, what makes ConnectPay so interesting and different from the competing EMIs in Lithuania, let's say, or a bank, so whatever? Thank you.
Well, Tal, you've mentioned yourself that, you know, we're one of the fastest growing EMIs, payment institutions in Lithuania, with Revolut and Paysera, you know, alongside. But however, we still consider ourselves, you know, a boutique institution. So which means that, we're very close to our clients, we show a lot of attention. Every, product improvement or anything like that, is discussed with our clients. We do the workshops with them, we show them the product before we launch them, we take the feedback and we react very fastly, and this means a lot because we are like a family, not only like the easy bankers as we call ourselves, not only the employees, but the clients are also a part of our family. And this is very important, the relationship and the closeness. And what we try actually, our clients set the priorities to us, they dictate which improvements should go first, what they need, what they're missing. And this whole co-creation makes it a very, very exciting place, to be. And we have amazing clients, that, as I said, they're a part of the family.
Exactly.
And one more thing, at first, when we started, we were focused on business, to onboard more clients, and as mostly all the startups. Now, the compliance part is the biggest department in our team, which gives, the comfort. I really hope, and I know, from the feedback of our clients that, they sleep well during the night, because they know that, they're safe with us. So this is us,
Amazing. You know what? I had in mind something when you said that, and that I had in mind. I had a phone call with your development teams that came, because we had some demands that we had from some of your clients. Actually, it's cool because I think that also FinXP has this type of stuff, but I'm sure, and again, not to mention other names, the other providers and other PSPs in Malta, okay? So, other EMIs in Malta that have been, some of my clients have been working in the past. And the funny stuff is that both FinXP and also ConnectPay, I saw it, that you're both very open to hear feedback and actually develop things which is unique to clients, and which is amazing, which is great, because you take a case study, and I specifically with your team, like with Vicky, the CEO, Marius, he's actually the CTO beforehand, so he knows so much technology. So when I speak about some demand of one of my clients that he saw that the system works like this and wants like an additional feature, you actually consider to do it, and if it works, you actually implement it, and that's really, really, really cool, and that's very agile. This is what we like. So thank you, Viktorija. Thank you so much.
This is something, what you said. There is no such thing as impossible, for our clients in us. If you need something and you tell us that, we get together and we make impossible things possible. So
exactly. So thank you so making the impossible. Thank you, Jeffrey. As I said, also Jeffrey. This again, what I like also about your team. Expanding and also creating new features, which is only last week we spoke about the debit cards and this. But please, can you please speak about things that makes FinXP as a unique software provider being close to the industry in Malta? Yeah. Please.
Yeah, exactly. Just to continue on this point, I think certainly our ability to develop our products and to listen to our clients and to see what the market needs is definitely one of our strengths. I think from a culture perspective, FinXP has a very entrepreneurial culture. When I look at the executive team, our CEO, CFO, COO, CTO, they are all entrepreneurs. They all have had their businesses in the past. And so obviously when you have this entrepreneurial mindset in the executive team, that attitude trickles down to the rest of the company, and sort of that's the culture that we have here at FinXP. We're always trying to see how to make things happen, not just for ourselves, but also, of course, for our clients. So I think that's one of the competitive advantages that we have, our culture. The second thing is maybe the fact that we cover the full value chain in payments. So whether a client needs IBAN accounts or virtual IBANs or payment processing, settlements, Forex, we are able to cover all of these services. And so that that means that clients will need to jump from one payment service provider to another for different services, but we can service them throughout. I think you're on mute, Tal.
Sorry. Looks like I can do like that. Okay, I think that I think that it's okay. We try to manage with this echo. I think it's okay. What if I understand correctly, and makes you unique, the company unique, FinXP, a part of being like, let's say, plenty of years on the road, is that you aim to be a one-stop shop to offer different payment solutions, being close to the gaming industry, being
definitely
mainly based in Malta. And I can also add, and something which you didn't say, which I always mention when our Maltese regulated companies ask us, who are these FinXP? Are they new? Because we never heard them before. We just saw them in the SBC event, and we saw them on your panels. I said, listen, these guys are 7 years already in the business. Jens is like, he's German, and Stefan is German, and they have like German culture. And it's like a mixed German and Maltese culture, where I really think it's another very interesting point that you don't see in other, let's say, Maltese EMI. And again, I'm not mentioning any names, but we all know that sometimes you put, an application, it can take 1 month to be accepted. And it's not even depending on a specific, provider or nationality, but clients cannot agree to that, And we all know about that. And that's important. Thank you. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Gonzalo, my friend. Gonzalo, so there are many affiliates there, many affiliate network, many people are doing digital marketing. And I think that in Israel, it became like the national sport. Everybody is opening. What makes your company, Mobile Brain, and the group and are so like useful that people actually want to work with you and with Gidi and Asaf and the team and Bernard?
Okay, I will say the main points are we are specialized on mobile apps. And on that, we are one of the first in the industry. The other aspect is we are kind of, for affiliate, a big company, but we still behave like a small affiliate, like really tailored to every partner. And also, maybe as much as important is all of our partners, we used to work in the other side in the industry. Then we do really understand our clients. Then when you understand the other side, because you were part of them, you can give an extra notch on service.
Amazing. So if I understand correctly, what you try to do is actually to be focused on what the client needs and not what he wants, and make sure that it's compatible. Can you refine that point? I want to make sure that I understood what you say.
For example, you were talking about cowboys.
Sorry?
You were talking about cowboys.
Cowboys. Look, it's Latin America. You remember, like if Jeffrey will say, Jeffrey, say cowboy, I want to hear the Maltese accent. You know that Viktorija, by the way, she has been living in Malta. So Viktorija, you did not get your Maltese accent, right? You did not absorb that, right?
No, I didn't have it, but I love it. Love it.
Nope. Yeah, it's the best. Say cowboy, Jeffrey.
Cowboys.
You see, that's the Maltese accent. You see, yeah. But if Emily would say, because she was born in the United States, to say like cowboys, but so
well, let's call it hit and run. In the industry, when I was in the other side, we used to call it a lot of hit and run. Okay. And you see a lot of those kind of person, hit and run business person, as an affiliate and as an operator, and we understand the fears for operator for those. And also as an affiliate, we have the same problems. And also services, quality, compliance, we need to feel what they need, and we need to feel the desire. And we have the ability because, as you said, Gidi used to work in 88, Asaf used to work in 88, I used to work in Mansion, and we understand that side.
It's amazing. So what you actually say, actually, I never have been aware, because the partners, like Gidi, Asaf, and him, is like, all of them looking like CPAs, like certified, like if I'm looking, I don't know what I look, and maybe I look like a pop star, I want to be a pop star, but no, I enjoy being a lawyer. I'm just joking. But these guys, his partners, doesn't look like Gonzalo. Sorry, Gonzalo, as I say, is looking like he's the face of Mobile Brain. You know, he comes, he's getting on interviews, he meets the client, does the biz dev, speaks on panels. But the other guys, you know, look like nerdish. You know, like with glasses, and one looks like an accountant, and the other looks like a programmer in a high tech. But the one that is in the last room, but all of them very, very talented, which is amazing. It's a nice contradiction. And yeah, you know what I mean? Will you agree with that, Gonzalo? I hope that you're not insulted what I said now.
No. Asaf is the face in Israel. The issue is he don't like to speak, you know, the language that's not Hebrew.
But the funny stuff that you said,
both of them are beautiful. Sorry,
both of them are very, very beautiful.
I couldn't be like without them. I don't know where I will be.
Of course. The thing is, I mentioned it for a point. They came from 888. They came from operators, and they also know from their day job and from knowing what's going on in Ramat Gan and Tel Aviv, what means cowboys, how to prevent working with those cowboys, and how to keep compliant, which is important, and we'll touch it in the next question. So thank you, Gonzalo. Last but not least, my team member, Emily Helmer. Emily, there are lots of law firms in the industry. Many do one-stop shop. Some of them do, I don't know, everything. And what makes your team, your compliance team, and what makes your firm so special?
Well, I'll start by saying that the firm was established in 2003. And we have clients nowadays that are still with the firm ever since 2003. And that, 18 years. And that means a lot. Just, you know, plain and simple, that means a lot. But I think the real reason is that the only way we do business is an all-inclusive, full turnkey solution package for our clients. So that means any legal services and ongoing advice they need, whether it's banking and payment solutions, compliance services, in-house and outsourcing compliance services that my team offers. We also, you know, involve our clients with the essence of the business. So we offer business partners and clients to sit on panels with us, just like this one right now. And we're very involved, and it's not a business, it's more of a family. So people don't realize that when they sign up and you know, you sign a contract to onboard with the firm, you're gonna be invited and mandatory to come to dinner parties and lunch parties and wine tastings and just all in all activities with the clients that build relationships and make the work together so much more fun and easy, because when you're doing business with people you enjoy spending time with, it makes all the difference. And I think that's really the key, because when we're talking about business and business partners, it's all about people and reading the people and understanding who you're working with and what each client prefers and what they like. And I think that just it makes it personalized, and like Viktorija was saying, that they're growing so fast, ConnectPay, but they're still in the essence they're boutique. And I think that's really the word, because we do have, I don't even want to say how many clients, but each client feels like they're the only client. And I think that's so important when you're dealing with business, because you're talking about people stepping into the lives of people. Exactly. And I think that's what makes us unique.
Wow, you know, it was touching to hear that. You know, I really, Emily, thank you.
Thank you.
I really, you know, you could not draft the things that, you know, I've been thinking even better or more precisely, because that's exactly what I actually feel, and that's
I'm
great.
So glad, and it's coming from your employees, so yeah. I think that's even more touching.
That's good. That's good. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Thank you. Wow. Okay. Next topic that I would like to touch is compliance. Okay, and compliance is important. I think we discussed it briefly beforehand when we spoke about the cowboys and what not to do. I think it's also important how to take compliance and keep it on your side. keep it on your side. And we believe that compliance is not only a challenge, but also an opportunity. And if you take compliance as something that is something that you will use it to filter the bad actors or filter the monkey business, and still work properly and effectively, meaning you can do lots of money, and I'm speaking now as an operator or a service provider, but minimizing your risk. And that also goes with being social responsible. If you're an operator, not get money from people who are broke. If you're, you know what I mean. If you give financial, if you're a financial broker or you have a trading platform, make sure that people do not risk capital they can afford to lose. And I think it's very, very important. So all of this also make sure that brings back to the compliance and the social responsibility. And I think that's a major focus going forward. And now I would like to ask maybe, okay, Gonzalo. Okay, Gonzalo, you're an affiliate, okay? And I know that you're working, with affiliates and more affiliates and less affiliates, and some of them can sometimes say, listen, Gonzalo, I want an offer how to make money. Let's make rich quick. Or this casino just all the time wins. Or this casino is like the best. And like, you know what I mean? Like this one has only the best spins and everything. When you smell something is fishy, how do you as a company, and I know, where does this reach you? The idea of being socially responsible and being fully compliant, that's important because you're also a technology company. So for you, it's even more important. So I would like to ask you, Gonzalo, start with you. Okay.
I just got a bit. Anyway, it's two things that I do. First, regarding to compliance, we don't take leads. We don't work that way. We don't take any info. But, and also remember when I used to be in the other side, let's say the aspect of, for us, in every country, we have the pop-up blocking of plus 18.
Very good.
And we have a discussion with some employees saying that this will affect the conversion, blah, blah, blah. And I made a bet, I said, this will not affect at all. It's not even 1% from click to sign. And I was right. Compliance do not, if you do it right and you do it well, compliance do not affect your incomes. It's totally the opposite. Compliance will make you sleep better and will not affect your incomes. And
unbelievable. It's amazing because many people will say that Gonzalo's thesis is totally wrong. That if you're regulated, if you work in a regulated company, God forbid, it's important to hear. Continue your point, Gonzalo.
No, that is, for example, an example that is proved by stats. It's like and that was before that some simple compliance will not affect you at all and make you sleep better. Not only because the regulator is telling you, it's because, it's the right way. And second, regarding to my real clients that are the operators, are the gambling or the dating, you cannot really put the gun and say, tell me all your secret, tell me who you are. What we do is we start small, we start delicate, we gain trust each other, and then we grow. Then that is the only way, the real way of, you have to have KYC and all the people and visit them, but everything could be, the only way to work for me is I meet a client, we start small, we gain confidence, I understand what they're doing better, and then we grow. And I think operators should do the same with affiliate. You start, that's the way I take it.
I agree with you, and that's a really, really good, and that's a good way. And again, it's not that I don't want that that it will seem that we're throwing the baby with the water, because let's say like this, it's not like black or white. You can still be on the gray. In the financial sector, you can still be self-regulated. Okay, doesn't mean even if you have a Marshall Island company or a Vanuatu license, which is like an offshore license, it doesn't mean that you steal clients' money. It doesn't mean you can even work according to like the best standards without like the European license MiFID. But it's a big difference between cowboys who that's their motto, than people who want to come on the long run. That's exactly goes with Curacao license and Alderney license, which for me, I don't think it's a big deal. And many of our clients has those license as long as they work by the book and, work properly with proper platforms, not with rigged platforms, if you got what I mean. Viktorija, also in ConnectPay, half of the company, it is actually compliance team, I think that it could be, it could be very, very, I don't know, disturbing, but it's not that a problem. And I think that, you have
It's
Thibaut.
amazing. It's amazing.
thing.
You know,
So let me know. What do you think? Yeah.
we
Please.
have, the people in our compliance team, they're very talented, smart, they think out of the box, and what Gonzalo said, getting to know our clients, it is very important. To have trust in our business, it's important to have trust for us in our clients, and for our clients to have trust in us, and we can't build trust without, solid foundation of compliance. We need to be comfortable in front of regulators. We know our clients, we know their cases. And what I heard recently, because I did some round of interviews and workshops with our clients that newly onboarded with us. And they're coming from higher risk industries, and what they were sharing with me is that in other companies, when they come, they're treated like you're bad, and here's your opportunity to prove us wrong. This is not how it works. It shouldn't be like that. We, as Gonzalo said, we start the relationship. We build the trust. We know the industry very well, and what questions we should ask, and if sometimes, we don't, that comes very handy, that our relationship with our other clients, the old clients that we have, we always, we have these workshops with our clients that they have workshops with our compliance team. So for us to understand business, it's not only, the law, it's not only the regulations. You need to understand, so we go actually beyond, what's written in the law. So this is, this trust is very important on both sides, and having such a great team. And of course now, my job is to work with those teams and to make sure that, the experience, yes, compliance is, very important, but to take the effort from the client's shoulder. A lot of things can be done by us, and that's what we do. It's better we take more work on ourselves, but try to make as effortless experience for our clients as easy, because all that matters is to move funds in a fast, easy, and most importantly safely way. So there is no safety without great compliance. So this is,
I just want to add, I think that's so important, because when you're talking about the longevity of a business, when you're looking to build a business, not just in the short term, but in the long run, and you want your business to exist and prosper for years to come, you need to take the time and really be forefront on the compliance, because these are the things that will promote the business and make it prosper for really for the long run. And that's amazing what you said about ConnectPay.
Agreed.
Exactly. Thanks.
Thank
totally
you.
agree with that.
Yeah, thank you. Jeffrey, I've been working with FinXP, with the compliance team, with, normally we just send it to you or to Daniela and we just seamless, but we had the chance to work with and see those guys both on Zoom and also over the phone. And, what I like with your team is that you have like an open door policy, it's not like the compliance is disconnected with the rest of the company. I'm not sure it's even necessary by law. In my team, Emily is head of compliance, and also the direct deals also with the email merchants, and she's not sitting in her own room with her headphones saying, we don't know anything, because like in banks, there should be like Chinese walls. I think that the law firm, I think we're the only law firm that actually has a compliance department. It's not even necessary by the law, but we wanted to make a higher standard. But Jeffrey, how does it work with FinXP? Why is it like an opportunity, and how do you see it in your team?
So, I totally agree with Viktorija. Compliance is very important. And of course, because in the financial services industry, business is based on trust. So when you're working with a financial institution, you want to trust, you want to believe that, they're going to be there in, 3, 5, 10, 15 years time and not lose their license because of some shady business that they were involved in. So the way it works here in FinXP is, since we have since the executive team is very experienced, particularly when it comes to obviously banking, but also the iGaming and crypto industries. The executive team is very involved when it comes to onboarding clients and vetting applications, because we want to use our experience and our in-depth expertise in these industries to make sure that we understand what our clients do, how their business models work, so that, as I was saying before, if there's a way we can make things work for our clients, then that's what we want to do. Compliance is not just about ticking boxes. It's about really understanding the business of the client and seeing how we can work together.
Amazing. And when you, as I understand correctly, and hopefully when everything opens up in Malta, I think it will be much more easier and even much more faster. People can come to the FinXP office and sit for a coffee. Even now, I know. Yeah, I think it's a good thing.
Exactly, and this is one of the things that we've done with many clients, is that we've actually asked them to meet up in person, whether it's them coming to Malta or to Germany, or we going to them, or meeting up at conferences. Having that face-to-face interaction is very important, because, as I said, it's all based on trust. So you want to trust that, if we're working with a crypto exchange, that they're vetting their clients correctly, what their processes are. So, going into the details and, also learning about the people.
Wow, I agree with you. Interesting, very much. Each one of you come from a different jurisdiction, a different mentality, and different, let's say, view. And it's great to see how everything combines to something very, very special and very informative and very, that I can learn from. Dmitri. And Dmitri actually, he came originally, as you know, only from the name, by the way. His accent is like totally London, even West London. It's like he's speaking like he came from Mayfair. But as you say, he came from Russia. And now he's actually living in Lisbon. Now, in Dimitri's company, in the crypto, compliance is something which is very, very key. But when I see it on the side, the compliance, it does not tarnish the effectiveness of the work. And I can just give an example. Dimitri, you can even put it you're muted, so you can just even turn off the mute. I'm saying like that. I can just give you an example. For me, part of the most important thing is the AML policy, and we draft anti-money laundering policies. Normally in my team, it's Mayan and Liat, and Jenny is also covering on the payment side. And what we normally do, we tailor it for every different client to the different jurisdiction, etc. Then the nice stuff about Cryptopay, that they actually asked also for the internal policy that the operator's employees sign. Now, between us, it's not a big deal, not a big deal that the employees will understand what is not to launder money through the systems, or to screen the employees, that there are no people that are doing, as we know, you know what I mean, like issues like with suppliers or with, and that's cool. And this is what I really like about Cryptopay. And this does not tarnish the effectiveness at all, but just shows that, very high compliance standards. So that's what I had to say. Now, where does the compliance issues sees you, and how can you take the compliance and make it to your advantage?
Thank you, Tal. So I agree with Viktorija. We try to take the same approach and make as much work internally as possible, not to make our clients' life harder, although keep it at a certain standard. But for me, compliance specifically in crypto is an opportunity, because basically we're bringing a new technology which is not very well known to the operators or our clients in general, and we try to go the extra mile explaining what are the risks and giving them a framework to assess their own risks, and explaining how dealing with crypto might might harm or help them. So I think that's where the opportunity in compliance lies for us, being the crypto processing company.
And you know what? Not only it is the idea that you have an address in the UK, which is the real address. The idea that you have a guy that if you speak with him, you can hear the UK British accent. Dimitri, when did you? Sorry to be picking all the time on the accent, because I have also an OCD. All the time thinks about accents. When did you move from Moscow, from Russia to the UK? Where did you live?
8 years ago.
So you see, 8 years ago, and he already has such a posh accent. It's really cool. So I can compliment that. But what I'm saying is like this. Also, Will Young, one of my favorite guys in Cryptopay and the director of business development. He is he's a professional. He's a professional. Even though he's young in age, but he's a professional. He knows the thing. He knows the business. He knows to ask the questions. He knows to run the applications of our clients fast without being not compliant. And this is, in this industry, very, very important, because as I said, and I'm just giving you what, everybody can choose his providers, but, to take someone writing you an email from, it's not only regarding crypto processing providers, but specifically there, but also other PSPs. If you get a PSP coming from, and again, I don't have anything against people from Southeast Asia. I have lots of friends there. I have even an office there, but or somewhere in Eastern Europe that sends you an email from mail.ua or something at Proton Mail, which it's an email that you can never probably, I don't know who's behind that. And then they say, listen, we'll get you this and that, we'll process you in crypto, you get you in fiat. I don't know what to say. I think it sounds so shady. We were in Dubai. Emily, you remember we were in Dubai? We saw many of those came to us and just offering their services. And you remember that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You don't even know the name of the company. You don't know who's behind. They're just like anonymous people, like, no names, and they won't even tell you their names because they're like behind a screen. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. And again, it doesn't mean that people that want to remain anonymous are criminals, but again, many of the operators themselves don't want that anyone will know who is behind the company. That's fine, anonymity, asset protections, that's fine. Doing legitimate operations is fine, but opening let's say a crypto exchange or dealing with funds on behalf of operators that is in the hundreds of thousands or millions without people actually knowing who you are, I think it's something which is a problem. And this is what I really like about people here in the panel, and also our business partners and clients in general, that we know them face to face, exactly as Emily said. Anything to add, Dimitri, or do you want me for you to open the next one regarding the compliance one?
I think we said everything we wanted on this one.
Very good. I want you to open our final question, and that is specifically for you. And why it is specifically for you? Because probably Dimitri's company is the longest one on the market here between, my company is from 2003, put myself aside. Victoria's company, I think almost 2 years ago. Jeffrey also quite several years. Gonzalo has been in 888 before, but actually Cryptopay, no? You were not in 888? Your partners, no problem. But the good thing about like
I was in Mansion and
Mansion Casino.
Giddy and Asaf.
Sorry. Mansion Casino, another big name, but also Mansion, very nice company. But again, many or not say many. Some of their senior employees just left and opened their own stuff, and it's not a big deal, because things like that happen all the time. Doesn't mean that that's a bad company. It's a good company. But at the end of the day, if you see a company like Cryptopay and you saw them in IGB and you saw them speaking on panels like 5 years ago, and you see companies and clients working with them for several years, and relationships that are actually not for a month or two, but for 5 years already, when even the company changed their business model, and which is also really, really nice. The questions are actually open to everybody, but I want to start with Dmitri, because Dmitri has a great example. How do you make a relationship last? And that's a question. And Dimitri, let's start with you.
I think it's pretty much very simple. You just need to put all the cards on the table, make sure you're transparent with your partners from the very first day, and then just go the extra mile to over deliver and under promise, I would say.
I can tell you, I also agree with what you're saying, and let me even add, you know, I was discussing with Will Young, that he has such a generic name. I was sure that he's one of the, I don't know, gaming providers that has a stage name, that is actually has a different name. But no, he is exactly Will Young. He looks like a Will Young. He looks like a typical British, very smart, as I said. And we discussed, we have one of the clients in the final stages, and we both said the best way, and we agreed, to make the client happy, not, you know, the client asked, listen, when will it be ready? And I was knowing that it will be ready that afternoon, but both of us said, listen, let's say during the week, so the client will be satisfied and not have a very strict ETA, because you know, everything can happen. Everything can be unexpected. It's not your issue, not anyone's issue. And that's exactly a good thing that you just said. Don't give over expectation. That's important. Make sure that you can come behind the expectation. Of course, not everything is in your hands, but that's thing that I saw in my eyes, which is quite different, you know, sometimes to other specifically crypto providers, but also gaming platforms. You know, we've been working with a gaming platform who actually promised to deliver a full website with everything, with this type of slots and everything in 4 weeks. And this does not happen, even including the Curaçao license. And between us, it's a really, really, really bad idea to engage with that thing. So the client just lost his $20,000, started everything, and I think now everything works properly. But I think that's important. Thank you, Dmitri. Thank you, Dmitri. Great. And keep doing a good job with your team. Your team is amazing. Thank you. Everybody I had a chance working with, like, you know, Darren and Will and Alexei and yourself, great people, and continue the great work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, Jeffrey. And again, how does FinXP, now that you branded yourself and you have like the unique culture, how can you make sure that the guys are going and coming with you and opening with you the company, and so opening with you the account, continue and work with you? And that's also important in a very, very competitive market, and you actually do it. But what's your point?
Well, the way we see clients is that we like to think of them as our partners in the business. So that's why we invest so much time in in understanding their business and their payment strategy and getting to know their team, because once you get these insights, you can then understand more fully what opportunities there are and how we can add value to their business. Apart from that, I think it's also very important to have very good communication. So clear emails, being responsive.
Jeffrey is like the extremity of being responsive.
Yeah.
Responsive to WhatsApp, responsive to emails, responsive in his holidays, in his day off. Being responsive.
There's a day off here in once, actually.
Today, I'm not surprised, by the way. I'm not surprised, by the way. Not surprised. By the way, also, Viktorija, also Vincze is like this in the Vincze also. Actually, Vincze is like the Jeffrey. Jeffrey is like the Vincze. Jeffrey is like, sorry, I told you, Jeffrey, that you're like the Vincze of FinXP. So it's funny. Yeah, so Vincze is all the time, like all the time on. She's in Bali, she's on the phone. Like every time, we can call her all the time. And it's cool that you have team which is all the time. Sorry, maybe it's very bad on the balance between work and life. Maybe. I'm sure it's bad. But in the bottom line, where there's so many things to do for your clients, you need to make sure that they get service. So what actually Jeffrey says here is that it's something very, very, very special. Is to make sure that the service will be responsive and always on time. That's correct?
Yes, because clients have high expectations. So of course, as you were saying, you have to manage those expectations. But if I can get to a client today before tomorrow, then I will do so.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. Thank you also. Thank you for your time and thank you for your insight. Emily. And Emily is actually one of she's really good not only in maintaining good relationship, but many of our clients say, listen, we really enjoyed, working with Emily on the compliance and opening the company and, opening the bank account. Maybe she can also, take care she will take care of servicing us in buying that other company or this activity. And I said, listen, Emily, she's only a law student, she is not that, but it's good. So I think it's a good thing that it's good to manage a good relationship. And this is a good example.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, what do you think about that? Yeah.
I think that something that, again, differs us from other law firms is the fact that we have the business view to be able to take, say, a client who comes in and has a project in mind and wants to, kick off the project and get it going. And us looking for legal advice and the legal supervision and sort of legal covering from all over. But because we are so experienced in working with these type of services and products, doing what we do for so long, we're able to give more of a full coverage, sort of from the financial side and from the of course from the legal side, but also from the biz dev side, and sort of taking everything and giving the client exactly what they need to kick off the project and to make it work for the long run, which is really, really important. And I think that's something that clients coming into the firm, not knowing us, are not expecting of that kind of service, and sort of all-inclusive, all in all, giving them everything they need, whether it's connecting them to banks, connecting them to different partners, sending them clients. The business isn't even operating yet, and sending them clients and sending them contacts. And this is something that when you, just like Dmitrii was saying, when you under promise and then over deliver, people just adore that because they're not expecting something, and you're giving them over and beyond. And I think that's a really great way to establish business relationships, when people are not expecting, and then you over deliver, and it's amazing because they really see that the tips and the advice that you're giving them is on point. I think that's the real key here, is everything is on point. And I mean, it's all, we're talking about the way you do things, but when it comes down to results, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for results. I think that's a really great way to establish business relationships.
I agree. And funny, I was all the time thinking, listen, part of our, I don't know, our unique appeal, that we're very unique. Not every lawyer have this kind of stuff, and and can go with, I don't know, this type of cap and take his clients on a field day or his team to a hotel and have fun with his synthesizer on the Prague Gaming Summit, by the way.
Yeah, this weekend Tal took us all to like a fun weekend at a hotel, and we went on a bar tour Thursday evening. It was like totally happening in Tel Aviv.
Jeffrey saw
downtown.
The picture. Jeffrey saw the picture on there. Jeffrey, I sent, he was discussing it. Jeffrey said, "No, your graffiti too." I just said, "This is what's happening now."
It was crazy. It was amazing.
Crazy. Yeah, but I was always thinking this is part of the appeal, but then I actually realized it's the other way around. This is only like the cherry, but the actually idea is that, as you just said, and that's very, I did not realize it only recently, and that is what actually, it means that the proactive approach. It means that when we know that...
Exactly, when you're proactive, people don't expect that, because in the business, in the industry we're in the industries where most of us are in, people are not proactive, and stepping up to the table and doing things proactively. It's just people are like, wow.
Yeah, exactly. Before I move to Gonzalo, maybe I'll just give maybe 2 examples of that, and then I move to Gonzalo, because the guys are just telling me that we need to end. Before I move to Gonzalo, just 2 examples of what you just said, and I was just thinking about. One is that the issue of this Curacao, that companies, operators license Curacao started losing their PSPs, etc. So we already came with the next new alternative regimes where to operate, etc. That's one thing, and we knew that because we knew that the governor will change, and what so we came in a proactive approach, not say, sit on the side. Okay, the same went to other licenses in the financial sector, etc. That's one thing. The second thing, and another example that we saw, one was that. What was the second? We had another proactive approach that we said, I forgot about it now. That is now, the legal opinions issue. Now, yeah, many companies that actually operate different type of activities, whether it's being an affiliate or an affiliate network or a financial company or even a fintech company, which is totally, I don't know, clean, as we say it, or even dating companies, are now being asked by banks and third parties and, partners and authorities, listen, can you please explain what are you seeing? Why is this transaction? And these are not only in Israel, it's also all around the world. Specifically in Israel, we have lots of clients being questioned by the banks. Each bank has this different form. What type of this? Why was this wire from that company? And it's so strange, we're also representing dating companies. And you have like a Together network, which is like a company which is representing probably the best or the biggest publicly listed companies in the dating business. And when you get money from that company, who is that company? And that's an interesting issue. So now part of the job that we now do, and we've been dealing with it very frequently in the last 2 months, writing legal opinions to clients all around the world, describing their activity, that what they do, it is legit, and what they need to do to make sure they are legit, because things are, coming more and more complex. And that's important because no one actually asked for them, maybe one or two, but then we started to do it, something which is like on a larger level to make sure that everybody is working by the book. That also brings that. Now, Gonzalo has been working with some of the operators for years. I will not replace Gonzalo and his team. And Gonzalo, what's your trick? Apart of going to London and sitting with them on beers. Please, Gonzalo.
Whiskey. No, also from before, it's always people forget that. We're humans. We're people. We have to integrate, we have to talk. Know when you meet with somebody, it's all about business. Keeping that on mind. Always thinking, just always remember we're humans and we need to talk and we building relation. That's the main key. Of course, always fulfilling the expectation is the business area, and that is, everybody will tell you, fulfill the expectations. Yeah, but don't forget the other side, that there are human beings involved. Meanwhile, you don't forget that, everything will stay more steady. That is because everything else already was said here. I cannot add something more. It's really amazing, all of this. But just fulfill expectation, like everybody said, give the extra nudge, and always remember, you're talking with other humans, and you have to build that relation too.
Amazing. So important. I think that many of you already spoke about that. Human. The human interaction is very important because we're all high-tech, online, etc. Guys, wow, I can tell you, I think that since 2021, I think that we have been, I think that over 20 panels already. And I made recently a list. And this is probably one of the top 3. And that's a good compliment that each one of you can think. And also like the dynamics between each one of you. And I learned a lot of what I heard now. Really, Emily, one of the top 3? Can we put this in one of the top 3 panels? Definitely. One of the top 3. Really. So guys, I really want to thank each one of you. I want to thank Gonzalo, Jusid, and your team from Mobile Brain. I want to thank Viktorija. Nemniasevaite. Look at this.
Oh, don't.
No, you say it, please. Vincze, I already know, and the other guys. How do you say your surname, please, Viktorija?
Nemniasevaite.
Nemniasevaite.
It's mixed. I'm very mixed, and the surname, I always have to show my documents, so it's
a cool
gonna
name.
soon change, but yeah.
Well, even to send you an email, you have to spell it out.
It's in your address. I copy paste it myself.
No, it's unbelievable. We need to do like Vicky at ConnectPay. You need to be like much more easier. But it's better than Gonzalo. Gonzalo, it has the funniest email. Like all their team has like Hotmail, Yahoo, and Yandex. Like Asaf is with the Yandex. Sorry to say, Gonzalo, that's the truth. You work with we have
a company email, but I
But
read
for
it
us-
with my Hotmail. It's
Yeah,
old. It's
Hotmail.
old. You know how old is that email?
Hotmail. And the other guys is with Yahoo. Thanks God it's not AOL or MSN. You know, I think that these will not. It
I
will
have
not-
one AOL.
Thank you, Victoria. And thank you, Emily Helmer, for joining us to this panel and giving
Thank you
your
so
insight.
much, Tal.
Thank you. Dimitri Guniashov, my friend from Lisbon. And thank you also to you, and thank you also to the Cryptopay team.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And last but not least, my friend Jeffrey Romano from Malta. Keep
Thank
safe
you,
in
Tal.
Malta. Hope that everybody's enjoying the time. And hope to see you soon face to face, each one of you. Hopefully, I don't know, in several months. I'm looking forward to that. And take care. Thank you again
That's
to the
my wish,
organizer.
to meet you all face
To
to
meet you.
face.
I will not forget, and I think it's also important that all of us, again, to congratulate and to greet and to thank again the organizers of AffiliateCon, which are great people, Tim Pool and Maria, and the owners of both, which is called Trafficology, and it's called also Gambling Insider, and they have also a printed magazine. They have so much publications. They're based in Shoreditch, and the funny and the best thing about that, they did not give up during the Corona days, and I think they will reap all the rewards after the Corona days. And I'm really happy for them to also support the industry, and we're here to also to support them. So thank you also. Bye-bye, my friend. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thank you
Thank
for joining me.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you as ever, Tal, for an upbeat, engaging panel, and thank you as always for being a big supporter of AffiliateCon. We're going to go with another change of pace for this next one. We're going to go back to a one-on-one interview style because we had a big all-star panel there, and we're going to introduce a new interviewer, actually, Gambling Insider's very own Maria. She'll be speaking now with Josh Green, co-founder of Fruity Slots, and they'll be talking about quite a new topic, quite an interesting topic. Well, not that new, but a day in the life of a casino streamer. Casino streamers are certainly bigger than they once were. It's a young concept, maybe not brand new, but it's certainly one that's growing. So let's go to Maria to find out more.
Hi everyone, I'm here today with Josh Green, one of the founders of Fruity Slots, which is the UK's #1 slots and casino streaming community. Hi Josh, it's really great to have you here today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hi Maria, nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
Now, I know you've been in the gaming and gambling industry for quite some time now. So do you mind firstly sharing with our audience a bit more about you, your journey in this industry, and of course, more about Fruity Slots and how did you get into casino streaming?
Sure. Yeah, it's been over 10 years now. So, you know, I'll try and give you the narrow or the shorter version. I started off working for a Playtech-based company in it was actually one of Teddy Segui's marketing companies, one of the founders of Playtech, in town in a marketing role for poker 10 years ago. That company got acquired by William Hill as part of the joint venture between Playtech and William Hill. It led me on to some interesting online marketing roles with William Hill across sportsbook, casino, poker. So I gained quite a lot of experience across all those verticals, and I've ventured into my own other affiliate businesses in the past and different projects in the space, from being an affiliate to working with the operators to do marketing. So quite rounded. The streaming was a little bit accidental. It was 4 years ago, I was at an affiliate conference when I had a sports affiliate site, and I bumped into a friend of mine that was an affiliate manager. We had a catch up and he asked me if I was doing anything on Twitch, not YouTube, he mentioned Twitch. At the time, I only really knew of Twitch for poker streams because people would be, it made more sense to me that you'd be showing your poker tournament, talking about strategy. It seemed a bit more social and it seemed to make more sense because you could actually learn from watching someone play poker. So that made sense. But he said to me, no, I mean casino. And I just looked at him and said, I don't know what you mean. And what are you talking about that people are streaming casino? And he said, no, we have some really interesting affiliates. It's popular, it's growing. So literally that evening, coming back from the conference, I turned on Twitch, I found a few. I was just amazed how much engagement, how much people were talking. about the slots and watching someone play slots. So I spoke to my business partner. We had a sports affiliate site at the time in a very tough market in the UK. We had owned the domain name Fruity Slots for a long time. We've both been in the industry for a long time. We also enjoy gambling. He had a history years ago playing traditional slot machines and known as fruit machines. So we'd acquired domain names over the years. And it was tough at the time to launch a traditional, say, SEO affiliate site in casino space, which was saturated, or PPC. And unless you're an expert in that field, very tough. This gave us an opportunity to enter the market without any real experience. You know, the barrier to enter for a streamer at that time was very low. You have a computer with the internet, Twitch, you know, you sort of learn a little bit how to stream, and then away you go. A lot of streamers didn't even have a website when they started. They'd just have their Twitch page and drive traffic through Twitch, you know, put a banner up, put a link up. So we thought it was a great opportunity. We both like gambling ourselves, so actually turning on a stream and gambling and playing slots wasn't too hard, and it made it authentic. And I think that's what made the channel grow quite quickly and popular, that it wasn't forced. You know, viewers could see that we actually enjoyed what we're doing. And then, you know, this is 3 years ago, and then it sort of just shot up in popularity. I think the casinos realized it was a good medium. I think people could enter the space quite cheaply. And that was sort of our start into it. So it wasn't very planned. We stumbled across it. It actually came through a conference. So, you know, good things come out of these conferences. And
oh, that's certainly great to hear. That's a great story.
That was it.
Now, most iGaming affiliates just run a website, but you guys run a website and YouTube and Twitch channels. Oh, I apologize, my phone was ringing. So you run a website, YouTube and Twitch channels, and I can see you guys are very active on social media channels. How difficult is it to manage all of that? And sometimes don't you just feel like you're doing a lot of extra work compared to the other affiliates that are out there, compared to most affiliates?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's tough because going back to sort of when we started and talking about it, a lot of streamers just started on YouTube or Twitch, and they didn't really have a website. They actually didn't really have any marketing or affiliate experience, loads of these streamers. We were quite different. When we got into the space, we already had lots and lots of affiliate experience. So we actually wanted to launch and create a brand and have the social channels and have the website and sort of everything in one go. Obviously, it wasn't finalized, it wasn't polished, and we've been developing it ever since. So we came into the space very much as a brand from day one, with the other channels. Running them is very difficult because they all complement each other, but finding the right way to do it to gain the best you know, traction, exposure, also marketing, it is always the challenge. So YouTube, Google, for example, loves YouTube. So trying to blend your content with YouTube and your website and create content that's then engaging and can be distributed through different channels is sort of the challenge. So it is tough because you focus on your website and there might be some traditional SEO, but at the same time, you're very conscious that you also have a YouTube channel and you have to try and make sure you're still getting exposure on that, and you're using the content to assist the current channel. In some cases, it helps a lot because our content is very organic and it's not difficult for us to create new content because of the nature of what we do. Other affiliates might always be searching for new articles, writing stuff just to fill pages sometimes, or regurgitating old news. With us, we're quite lucky because having content isn't an issue, which is great. Obviously, it's very centered on one thing with the slots and gambling, but that's given us, from doing that, it's given us opportunities to broaden just the gambling. We now do promotions, we work with casinos, we work with the game providers, we can do interviews with studios. So getting content has been great for us. Putting it all together is still something that we're very much trying to, I wouldn't say learn, but we're trying to master, and that's the challenge as always. And
oh, I think you already have. I would say you've mastered it.
Mastered it, no. Do we feel like we're doing a good job? Yes. You know, do we have more plans to or bigger plans to sort of scale up the content and put it all together? Yeah, and that's what we're trying to do as we speak. Actually, we just brought in some more resource and content, and we're focusing on content. So yeah, it's not easy, but it's a nice challenge to have. It's better to have content and different channels and worry about how putting it together than the other way around.
Oh yeah, absolutely agree. Now your YouTube channel is so popular. You have over 37,000 subscribers. Some of your videos get at least 200,000 views. Some even get over 400,000 views. That's just like absolutely incredible. But I can't imagine it was an easy achievement. Like, how long did it take you to gain that followers base?
It's a great question, and you know, if you look at from when we launched the channel to now, you have these graphs that don't make a lot of sense. In that you have these big spikes, and then they down.
Like anything.
Like anything, and you're trying to sort of crack the Google algorithm, but that's, you know, that's almost impossible. And it's like SEO that's trying to crack, you know, Google rankings and stuff. And you've just got to always be trying to learn and test and tweak and change. Because we had, you know, a period, I think probably 2019, maybe even 18, 19, where all of our videos were really skyrocketing, getting more, some of the videos more views than they get today, and this trajectory. And you sort of think, okay, well, it's only going to continue. And then things change, and it could just be YouTube changing stuff, or search changing, or your videos are not displayed in the areas that they were displayed before. So in terms of how long did it take, I mean, when we started, we really didn't know too much about YouTube. We had to read, watch videos, and there wasn't there's best practices like anything, you know, get engaging thumbnails, make sure the titles have the right keywords, put a description, put tags. So, you know, there's plenty of websites that will tell you, you know, your 5 or 10 things you should do, but it's then testing, and it's then turning on a live stream and seeing, does YouTube sort of like what you're doing? Is it going to push you the right people? And then when people do start watching you, are they engaged? Are they commenting? Are they liking? So it was learning for us. It was, you know, we spoke to a few people that so-called specialists, but really what they'd all say is the same things, you know, do the basics, try, test. There's no quick win and there's no trick. So my business partner always thought, well, look what they're doing. There must be a secret. I said, there's not any secret. We've spoken to enough people now in YouTube, and there's, you know, it's being consistent. It's creating a community. Definitely, we made sure we got streams and videos out regularly, and you know, it's no good for any channel if popular and then a month goes by and there's no videos and the subs sort of forget. So we start with consistency. We try to be a bit original in our videos. We try to be entertaining. Try to you know, get the community and the people that watched us involved. And it went from there. So it was a slow start. It took however long it took to get to 10,000 subscribers. It might have taken a year and a half. We then went from 10 to 20, maybe within 3 or 4 months. So the second jump happened, you know, in quarter of a time to the first jump, and then tapers off again. So, you know, we're hoping there might be, we're at 37 now, like you said.
The next jump will be soon.
Yeah, the next jump might be soon, and at 40 to 50, will it take as long as you don't quite know. And sometimes you go on a rush on YouTube, and subs start coming in. So you've always got to be on the ball. You've always got to try and be learning and tweaking. But yeah, that's where we're currently at.
Great. Now, YouTube recently said it will stop accepting gambling adverts in its matched advertising slot. Is there any specific rules for casino streamers that YouTube has? And do you ever worry that you might face tighter regulation sometime soon?
Well, there's sort of two parts to this. We don't advertise on YouTube as in our brand. We know that some casinos do. I think 888 have in the past advertised quite heavily on YouTube. Whether they still do, I'm not 100% sure. It is harder for an affiliate to sort of run adverts and campaigns on YouTube. So we haven't ever gone down that route, and you know, we're much more on the content side. In terms of regulations, we're much more bound by the affiliate rules rather than the YouTube platform. So as far as we're concerned, YouTube allows gambling content. Gambling ads is slightly trickier and
problematic,
licensed. Affiliate links is more of a general YouTube thing. They don't love affiliate links. You know, if they're gambling links, probably even more so they don't like it. Affiliate links, they don't really want people clicking out of their platform. But if you are directing your viewers to your own website where the link and correlation makes sense, you know, YouTube give you a little bit more, you know, I wouldn't say favorable, but they look upon that okay, because you're not just sending your traffic to 10 different sites and sort of spamming YouTube as an affiliate. If you launch whatever it does, a clothing brand, a gambling brand, a review site for cars, if your main links are sort of going to your website, which is part of the brand, that's okay for YouTube. So we try and follow that. And then in terms of the regulatory side from affiliates, we have to try and, you know, keep up to date with what they're asking. So some casinos don't want to work with streamers because,
oh, that's interesting.
You know, they're worried about whether it's responsible gambling, whether UKGC don't want, you know, they want you to age gate streams or something. So some try and stay clear. It's quite it's still a bit grey because the UKGC have announced stuff towards content and streamers that you know, some casinos are still trying to get their head around, but in general they'll take approaches better safe than sorry, because they don't want the risk of licensing and you know, as we all know what's going on and potential fines. So you know, in a lot of cases casinos would sort of say, we're really going to err on the side of caution, you can't do this and you must do it like this. So it's tougher. When we started there was no, you know, I wouldn't say anything goes, but you know, there wasn't any sort of UKGC guidelines around Twitch and YouTube and content, and the casinos were certainly less aware of that type of traffic, so more open to sort of streamers just doing what they wanted.
Okay. Now I'm hearing from everyone else in the industry that casino streaming is gaining more and more popularity. As you are in this vertical, do you see a lot more competitors come to the scene? And do you think at some point all casino affiliates will get into streaming?
I'm going to sort of answer it backwards.
Okay.
Do I think all casino affiliates will get into streaming? No, certainly not, because you have specialists in, say, PPC. There isn't a need to get into streaming. It's not so easy. You've got to find the right personalities. It has to be authentic. It's time. Building a channel is an instant, whereas paid spend like PPC, you spend X, you get back Y. It's pretty instant in the month. So definitely not all casino affiliates. I do think your content-based affiliates will understand the benefits, and if they're not streaming, they'll certainly be using video or will be trying to use video as a, you know, content part of what they're doing, because it's so important in terms of sort of rankings and engagement. It's in the sense of, you know, everyone's saying it's gaining more popularity and competitors. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the casinos can see a lot of value in having such an engaged audience. If anyone's watching a casino slot stream, they're very interested in it. So the type of customer, it doesn't always mean they're really high value customers, but you know, if you're watching someone gamble, you know, you're a really targeted, drilled in audience. So the casinos obviously see the benefit in that. And then the game studios, the developers that are building slots, now have a platform where they can really try and engage with an audience, understand what people are liking, what the trends are, what people want to see, and learning that way. Before streaming existed, you know, game studios would launch a game and just use the casino data to try and determine what's working, you know, how many players are playing, what their sort of revenue or turnover on a slot game is. Now streamers are sort of bridging a gap between sort of the casino and studios. So they've certainly emerged as you know, an extra layer to that spectrum. And then because of the popularity, like anything in life, yeah, the competitors come in, and some bigger affiliates or institutions may come in that have bigger budgets and put on a really big sort of branded stream, and they have 5 streamers, and the you know, everything is sort of high end in regards to their production value. And it's tough because then you're competing with people that may be on 7 days a week, 10 hours a day, playing really high stakes, which, whether it's responsible or not, people like watching. So there are challenges, and you know, we've certainly seen more people come into the space because, you know, it can be lucrative, and it's, on the grand scheme of things, quite a new thing still. So yeah, hopefully that answers it. I don't see everyone doing it, but we've definitely seen competition. We've also seen people come and go. It's not easy. It's also stressful. You're gambling real money. You know, you've got to manage those losses.
That is a very good point. Very good point.
You know, some people, it's just not right for them. So there's a lot of balances. But yeah, the competition for sure has grown, and you know, so there's been some great people that have come into it.
Yeah, you made some interesting points about the game studios. I think they've certainly realized the influence that casino streamers can have, like you said. So do game studios actually reach out to you often for collaboration?
Yeah, very much so. It sort of works both ways for our business now, because like I talked about earlier, we're interested in getting into the content side as well, which may be reviewing a slot game before it's been released. So it's sort of our job also to reach out to the game studios to look at their roadmap and say, oh, this game's coming out, we think it's going to be popular because of it's, you know, it's a popular mechanic, or it's a follow-up, or the maths model's different. So, you know, we'll try and look at games early, review games early, get content on our site. Sometimes you might want to build some publicity around it. So we're interested in working with them from a content point of view. They're interested in working with us because we're getting exposure for their game. So if they do a big release, whether it's a big studio that's doing, you know, a really big release, and they're spending with casinos on marketing, promotion stuff, you know, they're getting that extra visibility. They're hoping streamers play their games, potentially get wins, they get shared on social. So a lot or most game developers are, you know, pro streamers or interested, and at least will engage and speak to them because, you know, it's in their interest to do so. They're getting that exposure. We haven't come across many examples where they sort of don't want to engage with you or work with you. And in some cases, yeah, there are collaborations. We might launch a game for a studio on a specific site. They might have an exclusive launch on a casino that we stream on. So there's a collaboration there. We might do some giveaways to viewers for merchandise for those studios. You know, literally just before this call, a studio, I won't mention the name, reached out to send us some sort of t-shirts and stuff. So cool. Very much so, they're reaching out, they're engaging, and hopefully also sort of not learning, but using us as feedback. We play slots now, you know, whatever, 5 days a week for 3 years. We think we've got a good steer on what's fun, what people like to see.
Absolutely.
So it sort of makes sense for them to try and engage with our sort of audience to understand what, you know, how they can make their games better potentially.
Oh, that's great. Now, I cannot mention the pandemic, because everyone said that last year the online casino just boomed, especially when there was no sports in that short period of time.
Yeah.
Now we have the sports bag, the Euros have been on, but is online casino still just as popular in your view? Because you know how much traffic you get from your affiliate side.
No, the answer is, as we're seeing right now, and it's sort of too early to say because I'm in the UK and we're not fully out of lockdown. We're very close, but
Yes.
we don't have the so-called Freedom Day yet. We have seen a big drop-off over last month, and that could certainly be with the Euros, sports, the weather, the fact that the first or second level of restrictions have passed so people can go out and restaurants and eating. You know, back a few months ago, you still couldn't do that. So the casino space, across the board, I haven't spoken to enough people to see if they're seeing the same thing. Summers in general, anyway, might dip off and people go away.
Yeah, because people want to go out.
Yeah, and out. Obviously, you're right. During the pandemic, no one could go out at some stage. They were in. Gambling went up. There wasn't sports to bet on, so casino and poker certainly boomed. We have seen less interest. It's very early to tell if it's. Sometimes you have cycles in your website and traffic anyway, and different reasons. Can we solely attribute it to that? Not 100%, but I'm sure it has played a part. We've still got strong interest and we've still got the core, and we're not, certainly not panicking. But certainly that boom from the pandemic, it wasn't just going to continue, stay and grow. I think it's natural to see, especially on the casino side, a drop off, and I'm assuming other affiliates or even casinos will be, especially over the Euros, seeing the same.
That's great insight. Thank you for that. I have one last question for you.
Sure.
Fruity Slots is the biggest slot streaming community in the UK. Are you guys planning to expand beyond the UK sometime soon? Well, with YouTube, you're kind of international already.
Yeah. So it's a great question. If it was sometimes that easy to say, okay, bring in a Swedish streamer or bring in a Canadian streamer, and then you've got that market. I think we have tried actually. We had a few years ago, we probably tried too soon. Before we were established enough, we launched what we called the Stream Team, and it was, we had a father and son. The son was over 18, by the way, in Sweden. So father and son combined. We had someone in Canada, we had someone in Germany, we had a husband and wife in the UK. We had a guy called the Slot Professor, very good. So we had this whole range of people. We thought, we'll turn it into a TV channel. So if you don't like watching them, you just won't watch them and you'll watch them. It didn't work for various reasons. Whether, it was, too much too soon. We hadn't established a brand. Our community wouldn't sort of necessarily say, well, I'm just not going to watch them, I'll wait. There was a lot of cost involved in that managing. We weren't a big team. We're managing 10 streamers internationally. The channel was almost 24/7 at one point. A lot of stress behind that. So we sort of went back. But at the same time, we saw competitors do similar stuff. So I think the model does work. Maybe not. I'm not sure I've seen many channels that have loads of different streamers from different countries, but they've certainly got 5 or 6 streamers that they rotate round. We do get an international audience, like you said, from YouTube. We do plan, because of UK regulations on slots, especially in October when they're taking off auto spin. So actually you have to manually click away. We do plan to have a base in Ireland, just so we can, as content creators, basically produce the content we believe viewers want to see. That doesn't, having a base in Ireland doesn't necessarily mean you're getting, more Irish traffic or players. But, it's always a challenge to not put all your eggs in one basket. We do have plans to sort of go outside the UK, and some of the content on our website that I talked about that we're investing in, hopefully will broaden our overall reach. But we don't have a specific plan to target one country aggressively, to answer that question. We don't have on the horizon anything say, we're launching this in Canada and this is what we're doing. We do have a completely separate project, not Fruity Slots, but as a gaming company in India, affiliation. So we're looking at that market. But
That's an interesting market as well.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sure.
an upcoming market. That's interesting. We have a small team out in India. Well, I say small team, quite a big team actually. But it's not part of the Fruity Slots brand. I mean, we have a bigger company, Bet Up Media, which is our sort of marketing company. So yeah, we're looking at other markets because the UK is still, despite it being very strong for gambling, it's heavily regulated. Will the regulations get tighter? We've seen casinos pull out. The slots have certainly impacted. They've already taken away or changed certain things. Come October, like I said, when you can't, automatically put your game on to run for say 100 spins or 50 spins, it will affect things. Will it affect players and consumers as much? Don't completely know, but yeah, having all your eggs in the UK is certainly carries risk.
Well, thank you for that. I'm sure whatever's in the cards for you guys in the future is going to be great. We're going to be watching you for sure.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time, Josh, and for sharing more about Fruity Slots and the casino streaming vertical. I do hope I'll speak to you again soon. And to anyone watching this, if you haven't already seen some of the Fruity Slots videos, go and check them out because they're really fun to watch.
Thanks to Maria and Josh for that fascinating interview. Definitely an interesting topic that it's only going to grow and grow. And thanks also to all our viewers who are watching right now. Our next interview, we're going to go back to Maria in a minute. Maria will be joined by Wayne Howe of howaboutbingo.com. And they're going to be talking naturally about bingo. Maybe not the most talked about vertical in gambling, but there's plenty to be learned from bingo at the moment. And the COVID-19 pandemic, has affected the vertical like many others in different ways. So Wayne's going to talk to Maria all about launching his new affiliate website during the pandemic and building a brand that stands up for the rest in this, I guess, niche vertical is the right way to put it. So back to Maria again, and our viewers, thanks for watching.
For our next affiliate interview, it is my absolute pleasure to speak to Wayne, who is the owner of bingo affiliate site howaboutbingo.com and has been writing about bingo for many years now. Hi, Wayne. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me on.
Firstly, can you tell our audience a bit more about you, your journey in the gambling industry, and how did How About Bingo come to life?
Yeah, so I got started in the industry by accident, as a lot of us do, back in 2006. I was kind of fresh out of uni, looking for work, applied for a job it was just advertised, website administrator. And then when I found out about it, we're a bingo company, we're a bingo affiliate. So this was the company that went on to become Which Bingo Limited. At that time, they needed someone to look after the free bingo website. So I came in and did that for the first 7 years or so. So that was anything that you can think of that would need to be done on a real bingo site, but on a free bingo site. So coming up with the promotions, doing emails.
Wow,
we had
amazing.
a chat team, so we had to organize the chat team. We had to develop the game, improve the software, everything. It was very interesting. We even did meets with players, went to Blackpool and met players and all kinds of stuff. It was really fun. And it was a great experience for me because it really sort of like I really enjoyed bingo and the people that were playing it, and it was a lot of fun. But from there, obviously the company owned other bingo sites, affiliate sites, most notably Which Bingo. So eventually I moved up the ladder internally, and I was overseeing all the sites that they had, including free bingo. But they sold that and concentrated on Which, and that was where the last few years before I started my own business, we were going strength to strength with Which Bingo, making it, the number one affiliate in the space. And eventually that got the attention of XL Media, who bought the site, but they didn't want to keep us on. They didn't want any of the staff. So at that point, I was faced with, okay, what am I going to do? So I decided that I was going to launch as a consultant, and I eventually went to work for the new owners of Which Bingo for a couple of years, advising them on the site and helping them out with some of the big ticket items like the awards and the annual report and stuff like that. But eventually I grew frustrated of not being in control. you know what I mean? I used to like, you know, when you've got, you know, when you're in control, so I want to do this, and eventually you usually can do it. But when you're working for someone else, you can only say, here's what I think you should do. And they might say, oh, thanks, but we're not going to do that. So I think I just got a bit tired of a lot of the stuff I wanted to do, on which Bingo they didn't want to do, or they wouldn't let me do, or it was a bit slow to do, or it wasn't as good enough as I wanted it to be. And I thought, you know what, I can do, you know, why don't I just do this myself? So I decided to step away from those guys and try building my own site. So, you know, I did one or two other things in between. I did launch a casino white label at one point, which lasted a year. Yeah, and that didn't go too well, but I didn't get burned from it. I experienced quite a few things, but it was interesting nonetheless.
Interesting experience for sure.
Yeah, and I also launched a sort of a website called bingodata.co.uk, which was a B2B thing. So it just I've got this partner, and he built this tool for me that will visit bingo sites every hour and scrape some information from the lobbies, namely how many players are in each of the bingo rooms. And I've been tracking that for the last 15 months or so. So
wow, you've been keeping busy.
Yeah, definitely keeping busy. So, you know, occasionally I'm picking up work here and there, consultancy with, you know, some of the operators. Yeah.
I was gonna ask you of all verticals, why do you choose bingo? But it sounds like, well, it was an opportunity when you were like first starting, like fresh out of uni, and you just stuck with it.
I saw that. Why did you choose bingo? No, bingo chose me.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Great.
Yeah.
Do you sometimes feel that bingo is a bit underrated? As in the gaming industry, people often focus on sports betting or talk about online casino as a whole. I don't hear much about like bingo in the industry talks.
Well, it definitely is, but I like that, and I think people who are in the bingo industry probably like that, because it means there's less attention and less competition coming in for it. But certainly there's a lot of money in bingo to be made if you can get to the top.
Yeah, of course.
Top of the game. That's where I'm a long way off from the top just now.
But you get there, like I'm sure you will. Now, you launched howaboutbingo.com during the pandemic. Was that more challenging, as a lot of people realized the potential of online gambling and tried to get a piece of it, or was it easier to launch an affiliate site then because there was like so much demand from players?
First answer is no, it was definitely not easier, because I've got 3 kids, and the youngest is 2 and the oldest is 9. So to have them at home while I'm trying to work and my wife's trying to work, and they need homeschooling, and the baby's barging into the office demanding to go on the trampoline every 5 minutes, it was an absolute nightmare. But certainly the demand for bingo from players definitely increased. You know, by this time I was well underway with my bingo data tool, and I could see from there the player numbers at the sites all went up across the board during that first lockdown. So there was definitely a demand, but it was definitely not easy trying to launch a site during a pandemic, just because of the family at home. You know, if we didn't have the kids, it would have been incredible. We had so much done, but it certainly really slowed me down. I had plans that I would launch by like July. I started working on it in March. I thought, this will take me 3 months to get this ready, and it was not till December that I actually went live with the website.
Well, important thing is that you launched it, and it's going well. Now, How About Bingo is certainly not your average affiliate site. It's very different. It's centered around you as well, and you do a lot of video content. How hard was it to come up with a concept for your brand?
Well, I'd actually thought of the name years ago. I think I might have even bought the URL in advance, thinking, I might do this one day, because my surname is Howe. How about bingo? Play off that a little bit. But the concept essentially was, I didn't want to be the same cookie cutter, template that you see at other affiliate sites. I mean, I know quite a lot of people who own bingo affiliate sites. A lot of them just use the same WordPress layout, and from one site to the other, they almost look identical, but they work. It's easy for these guys who are so good on WordPress to just make a site in a few weeks, get it and get it ranking. But from a user perspective, I didn't want to do that. I wanted my brand to stand out a little bit. And I thought, what could I do? Well, you know, there were one or two sites that I've seen in the casino space where there was a person. I think there was Live Casino Compare I saw, and he did videos, and it was like, hey, I'm this casino guy, I play casino. And I thought that resonated with me. I thought, well, there's nobody doing that in bingo. How about I put myself forward as the bingo person? So that's why I went with that. And I thought, if this fails, but I've put my face out there so much that at least I'll be more recognized in the industry, and I can put myself forward as an industry expert, and it may lead to other opportunities working with operators and stuff, which it already has. So it is paying off.
Now, you already like briefly mentioned that you do a lot of videos. I've seen you have a video podcast where you speak to people from the bingo vertical, and you upload the other videos where people can see you playing bingo games. Why, well, we sort of already told us why did you decide to do it, but don't you feel like you end up doing a lot of extra work compared to like most affiliates that just run a comparison website?
Yeah, it is. To do video content, it is a lot of extra work, and I've certainly sped up, and you know, I've experimented a lot, and now it doesn't actually take me too long to do a video. What takes a lot of time is like if you've got to edit it heavily afterwards and then uploading it to the various platforms and stuff like that. But no, I wanted this to be video because I've always championed video previously at Which Bingo. We had a guy in called Roger Knowles who's now doing live streams for Buzz Bingo. He did video content for us, and it just helped Which Bingo stand out. And I thought, well, I definitely want to do that. And I knew that sort of SEO wise, it can help having a mixed video content on your website as well as just normal text and stuff like that. So all those things, you know, I wanted to do it, but yeah, it's been very difficult. I mean, my original plan was that I would upload everything to YouTube, and just before the site launched, all the videos were in YouTube. And but the state of the industry was, well, you have to age gate all the videos now, you know, as part of the license conditions. Well, okay, I will do that. So I set all the videos to 18 only on YouTube, and on the website you could still see the videos, the thumbnails were still there, but when you press play, it then asked you to log in. So that was fine. But then just like a week before I launched, YouTube changed something, and it meant any age gate video now, you wouldn't even see the thumbnail on your site. So all of a sudden, all the videos on my site were just a black box that said watch on YouTube everywhere. It just ruined the site. Just looked horrendous. I was like, oh my God. So I had to sort of like really think quickly and try other alternatives to YouTube, which you know, cost money. And I'm still experimenting with them. It was very tricky. And then even on YouTube, some operators like won't let you put videos of them on there at all. So there's one high profile that kind of like wanted me to age gate the entire channel. And apparently you can't age gate the entire channel unless you're a super YouTube partner, mega spend mega with them. So that's like, I've just got to not do it at all. So it's some days it's kind of like, oh, why am I doing this video stuff? But other days you do get a lot of people who go, hey, you know, I saw the video that you did the other day, and I watched this. You never actually know who's watching. And I have had one or two opportunities come my way consultancy wise that started off with, hey Wayne, I saw this video you did over here. Hey, how about you can help me out with this? So
absolutely, I think it's a fantastic idea. And also, like, even when I saw your website and your videos, I'm like, I don't think I've seen anyone do like videos about bingo. I've seen casino streamers, like people playing slots, but no one about bingo. I'm like, that's a great idea. It's very different. Do you think more affiliates will start producing video content? Do you think this is the future, or is it too much work to do?
For bingo, I don't think so. The problem with bingo is it's not very sexy. It's to watch someone play a bingo game can be quite boring if you were just to show it from start to finish, because you know they can be quite long. Whereas if it's slots or casino, it's happening really fast. So I've always got to try and find ways of editing the videos so there's at least something interesting happening, or I'll cut away, you know, to the point where I'm about to win or I have won. But certainly, I'm not the first person to do videos for bingo, and I won't be the last. But I hope nobody puts as much effort into their videos as I'm doing. a lot of them are just, you know, just screen grabs of the websites of the games, and you know, they're not very good. But it does, sometimes the quality of the video doesn't even matter for Google. It does frustrate me sometimes when I put a lot of time and effort into a certain video, and then somebody who's just knocked up a video in 5 minutes is ranking higher than me for it. But that's the battle we have to have with Google every day.
Well, speaking of Google, because they change the algorithm all the time, how hard is it to stay on top of SEO trends? How do you manage to keep up?
Well, to be fair, because I'm relatively new to this, I'm still, you know, I've given myself 1 year to 2 years to sort of get the site, you know, it's really established. So I'm still in that early phase where I'm not monitoring the stats too much, other than what traffic is coming in and from where. But I did recently, a month or so ago, one of the operators buzzed me and said, "Hey, I see your rankings are going up. It's really impressive." I was like, "What? What are you about?" And then he shared with me some data from Ahrefs, and lo and behold, like the rankings for stuff was shooting up quite high, but not to page 1 yet. So because it wasn't on page 1, I wasn't getting loads of traffic. I wasn't really noticing. So now I'm on Ahrefs, and I'm keeping a bit more of a closer eye on it. So things are looking.
I think you must your rankings must be really good, because this is how I found you, from Google. Like, obviously I wouldn't go to page 10 of the search, so there you go.
I think it's one of the advantages of being, you know, a one-man band is speed. So a lot of the time something happens, I go right, and I get up on the website that day. Sometimes I might even have a video that day, and I can be ranking #1 for something for a few days before then Which Bingo write about it, or someone else writes about it, and all of a sudden push down, and it's kind of but sometimes I am staying there on page 1 for, which is a good thing.
You work with quite a few operators. Is it difficult to maintain all those relationships?
No, I think I'm too small at the moment for them to be too worried about me in terms of delivering affiliates. I mean, I already had a good relationship with a lot of people anyway from my time at Which Bingo. So I kind of helped the affiliate sales team at XL Media for the last 6 or 8 months that I was working there. So I had connections with affiliate managers. Prior to that, I always organized the Which Bingo Awards. So that was involving even higher up than affiliate managers, you know, bingo managers, MDs and stuff would attend. So there's a lot of people that I knew. And when I did come to launch, I said, "Hey, I'm launching an affiliate. Can you get me on your affiliate scheme?" So a lot of them did fast track me on there. And, yeah, I know Wayne, I'll get him on. Whereas others who didn't know me, it's quite hard to get signed up. But yet, you know, I am delivering some players to some sites, but it's very, very small at the moment. So the biggest thing is just trying to say to people, this is a long game. Okay, I'm not delivering players to you right now, but a year from now, hopefully I will. So just leave me on the program there, and you don't have to pay much attention to me maybe till next year.
Of course. Would you ever consider also working in other verticals like lottery or sports betting, or you're not really interested in those?
Well, like I said, I did dabble in casino for the white label just because it seemed relatively easy to do. You know, come up with a brand and, you know, pay somebody some money to make you a casino, and it did okay at first. But to help with that, I did do a slots version of How About Bingo. It was called How About Slots, and I was putting slot reviews on there. But I found I could not keep up with the number of slot games that were coming out. Like, you know, it felt like 5 or 6 new games every single week. And in the end, I thought, this is actually too much. And there's so much competition out there for slots and casino. I thought, you know what, I should really stick to what I know, which is bingo.
I think that's a clever strategy.
I gave those 2 up and concentrated on bingo, and I think that's, you know, it was the right thing to do. Although slots, anytime I have done a little bit of slots content on How About Bingo, and it always gets a lot of interest. And I wanted to start when I first launched the brand. I said, this is going to be bingo. It's going to be bingo only. And yeah, anytime I do anything remotely related in slots, the traffic goes up and people are really interested in it. And I'm like, right, okay, how do I need to get slots somehow on the site in the future without it being what I think a lot of bingo affiliates now. It's almost more slots and casino than bingo these days.
That's very interesting, actually. Okay, I have one last question for you. What is in store for you and How About Bingo for the rest of this year? I know you're still at growth stage.
Yeah, well, for me, there's no pressure. I'm putting no pressure on myself as to when this is going to really take off. It's almost a side project without it being a side project some days. So when I first started off this, it was the only thing I was working on, and I had a bit of money like to keep me going. So I can go a whole year without making any money, and I'll keep working on it. But I have to be realistic, and I need money to pay the bills. So I am picking up work with operators, doing some consultancy here, doing some marketing there. I manage one operator's Facebook page. And stuff like that. Yeah, just little side projects to give me, a bit of money. So that does take up some of my time. So How About Bingo, some weeks becomes a side project, other weeks it becomes the main project. But all that's important to me is that I'm happy at home. I've got a good work-life balance. I get to see the kids and the wife and my friends and all that kind of stuff. And right now, this does. And I'm hoping that a year or two from now, How About Bingo has taken off in the rankings so that it then earns me my primary money there, and then I might ditch the other projects and just work solely on How About Bingo and try and scale it from there. So
I'm sure that will happen. Absolutely sure, and like really all the best. And I'll definitely keep in touch with you because I'm gonna want to catch up in a few months, see how things are going. Then you're gonna say, I'm sure you're just gonna say, oh, my rankings have gone like crazy. I hope you say that then.
Yeah, well, I hope so.
So to anyone watching, make sure you check howaboutingo.com and Wayne's videos because I think they're really great. There's a lot you can learn from them. Thanks again, Wayne, for joining me, and I'll speak to you again very soon.
Thanks for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks again, Maria. We've had 3 panels and talks for you so far. We've had a panel with Talron's All-Stars. Then we've talked about casino streaming and about bingo. So far, we'd like to think there's something for everyone in today's AffiliateCon Virtually Live. Next up, I'll be taking this next interview with Shimon from Casino Guru. And we're going to be talking about an important topic in the gambling industry, which is responsible gambling. But it's something that maybe is not talked so much about, specifically in the affiliate sector. So we'll be talking to Shimon, and we might explore why exactly that is. But he's going to join us very shortly, and we hope to bring you another fantastic interview. Hi, Shimon. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, hi, Tim. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's our pleasure to have you as well. We're going to be discussing an important topic, especially in gambling, but obviously for affiliates. We're going to be talking about responsible gambling and the different kind of things that affiliates can possibly do in this area. Could you start off by giving us an intro into Casino Guru and your kind of the things you do and the approach you have in responsible gambling?
Yeah, sure. And first of all, I want to say that I think it's a great initiative from your side to open this kind of discussions with affiliate connected with responsible gambling, because I think that it's very important topic which will gain even more importance in the upcoming years. And yeah, like I said, I'm happy that I'm here to talk about it. So Casino Guru, I mean, this is the organization I'm coming from. So basically we are a database of online casinos. I think that we are the biggest database around here on the internet. What makes us, I believe, what makes us doing the responsible gambling in a good way is that what we are trying to do is we are doing honest reviews of those casinos. And basically the goal is to help players make the right choices. So in order to do so, we have a certain methodology, we have a certain algorithms under which we are evaluating those casinos and trying to provide the truthful information. And this goes hand in hand with our sort of code of conduct, which is, I can call it no monkey business policy. There is a better word for it, but I'm not sure if I can use it. And it's basically about that we are trying to provide only truthful and verified information. What we also do is that we have created the Fair Gambling Codex upon which we are evaluating those casinos. And as the name suggests, it is based on the fair and moral principles for the relation between the casino and the customer. And we are using this as our mantra for evaluation. So this evaluates not only responsible gambling attitude and measures which the casino has, but the overall attitudes towards the customer. So it's also based with the setting of their terms and conditions. If there are not some rules that can be disadvantage for the players, sometimes there are also appearing called predatory rules, which is setting some rule in a way that the player is not aware of it and the system of the casino will not notify him. And like almost everybody knows, no one is reading the whole TNC. So these are sort of little traps which can appear. And this is the things that we are trying to evaluate and trying to reflect in our assessment of each casino. We are using this codex also with our work with complaints. We have a complaints resolution center where players globally can set their complaints when they feel like they've been mistreated by the casino, and we are trying to solve it as an independent negotiator or arbiter with our position on the market. We are trying to settle this. Last but not least, we have created a very comprehensive responsible gambling section on our website, which is created in it's not limited form, but it's when you enter the section, you are not seeing any kind of promotions. You are not able to see any kind of casinos, nothing that would urge you for gambling. And in this section, you can go through the information about responsible gambling, how to spot if your gambling habits are not safe, what to do, how to ask for help, and what could be the strategies for you to really play in moderation. And besides that, we have released this year our two main responsible gambling projects. The one is the Casino Guru Academy, in which we are trying to educate online casinos through their responsible gambling, but through their customer support departments. And the second major project is the Global Self-Exclusion Initiative, which aims for creating a global scheme for self-exclusion.
A lot of interesting points and projects there, and we'll go into those. Before we talk more about responsible gambling, though, I wanted to pick up on your point about honest reviews. Honest reviews, kind of honesty the best policy. Is that something that affiliates might be a little bit afraid of generally, because they might think if it's a little too honest, maybe they, do you lose a bit of revenue? Do you kind of sacrifice your partnership with the operator? How do you kind of go about that getting that balance?
I think that for this certain point, we have an advantage that we have a quite good position on the market, and it could be basically measured on a traffic. Like it's the matter of values, like how much the operator wishes to be reflected in a good way on your website, and how much you as an affiliate want to show some casino in a good way in order to have a deal with them. So thanks to our position, we can take the first position, the first standpoint in this, because for us, no position on our list, the better rating on our list, cannot be bought by money. So yes, indeed, for smaller affiliates, it can be difficult for them to really say to say anything bad about the casino, because that it would jeopardize their affiliate relationship with it. So yes, indeed, it could be problematic.
Yeah, for sure. It's a tricky area, but as you say, it's good that at least Casino Guru, using your position, you can be honest and try and help the player. Into the wider issue of responsible gambling, how much can affiliates truly do and truly help with responsible gambling, given obviously there's a lot of emphasis on the operators in this area?
Yeah, like I said, I think that we have an advantage in this, but certainly there are things which can be done by smaller affiliates as well, because at least what you can do is that you can make sure that the players which are entering your website will have the proper and reliable information about how to play. Yeah, so this is something that you can always do to really provide information and truthful information about gambling, how it works, if it is a good idea to make it as something to make money. Yeah, naturally it isn't. So at least it can be done in this way. Then for affiliates of all sizes, I know it can be a tricky way, as we discussed earlier, but trying to, at least for a certain point, or I mean as much as you can, to really provide the truthful information and to display and promote online casinos which are generally good. I mean, which are caring about their players, which have a good responsible gambling policies, and which are doing their business more or less in a sustainable way, because I think that it goes hand in hand. And yeah, for the bigger affiliates, also, I mean, similar to us, I think that what they can do is to be able to create leverage for the operators. Like I explained before, I mean, on how you are displaying them, I mean, based on truth, you can make a leverage on them to somehow change their behavior, to change their approach towards the customer, to change their approach towards the responsible gambling. Yeah, so I think in general there is a lot that affiliates can do, and it's also because I think that affiliate sites are the considerable part of the player's journey for their playing habits, and for the most players it is their start of their gambling, because they will just enter online casinos to their website, and mostly they will see affiliate websites and not directly the operators. So these fundamental information and this initial experience which they will have, I think that it can influence their gambling habits in a big way. So yeah, certainly there is a lot that affiliates can.
Sure. So you've talked about kind of using leverage there and educating the player, really giving them as much information as possible. When affiliates are dealing directly with operators, can they ever help an operator themselves be more responsible? And can there ever be a position where you can actually tell an operator, look, you've got to do more?
Yeah, I think that it can be done, and we are trying to prove it. For the past year, we've been able to make more than 50 casinos to change their terms and conditions and change their approach towards the customer. I know that it's not directly connected with responsible gambling, but as I said, I think that it goes hand in hand, because I mean, it influences their other operations as well. So this is something that affiliates can do, but it have to be based on a really truthful assessment, because we do not want to end up in a situation that affiliates will be setting up their rules and setting up their conditions which will not be reflecting the reality. And I think that this would be as bad as unreliable operators being promoted. So this is certainly not the case. But yet, I think that for these big affiliates, it can be successful for them to change the behavior of operators, and especially in this era or at this current time when the online gambling is experiencing really high exponential growth. I mean, even for affiliates which are not that big, they can be the good setting point for new operators and good partner for setting up the right best practices and best standards for their operation. I mean, because when you have a new operator, they will naturally look for the affiliates to promote them, and even for those smaller ones, if they will have high standards on responsible gambling and will be requesting those and will be, I mean, having the attitude of really showing whether the operator has the responsible gambling standards or not. I think that this can influence also the market from the very bottom.
So going back to some of the things you mentioned earlier, specifically Casino Guru initiatives, can you tell us more about the self-exclusion program, the global one, and then also the academy as well?
Yeah, sure. I mean, both projects, they have, I mean, they are coming from our experience with the players, with the global players directly. I mean, since we ever started to operate Casino Guru, I mean, we were aware or we felt that there are certain things which are not quite sufficient. But when we've started working with those players in our complaint section and also on our forum, we started to notice that there are certain things that are which are repeating and which can be somehow fixed. So one of them is the insufficiency of current self-exclusion options. Just from the perspective of a global player, it is very easy to go around the self-exclusion once you made it. I mean, you can do it on several or multiple levels, so you can exclude yourself at a single operator, which will then give you the opportunity to play at other operators with the same license as well. And then you can exclude yourself from all the licensed operators as it is available at UK or in Sweden, but still outside the borders of your domestic country, outside the borders of this single jurisdiction, you will find a real big number of casinos which will accept you, even though you have excluded yourself, whether they are coming from Curacao, Malta, or some other offshore destinations. Then it is very easy for you with a simple customer overview about how the internet works. It's very simple for you to be able to gamble again. So, and even though those operators would like to be responsible in their operation and would like to be sustainable in their operation, at this current condition, there is no way for them how to find out that the player was self-excluded before. And we would like to change this. We would like to create a global scheme which would be accepted for the wide range of operators out there. Why we have created this as an initiative and not as a SellPoint project is that we are basically not able to do this alone. And this being an initiative, it's a call towards the industry to aim the attention of this issue, to open the discussion about what is really happening on an international and global level, and try to find a solution for this. So this is what we are doing basically, and what I'm doing for the past couple of months is that I'm trying to collect feedback. I'm trying to find out if this is something that also the industry is considering as an important, because there will be no regulatory body on a global level. There will be no global compliance, I mean, as far as I can see it. So the only way for us, the only way we see is to create a scheme and make it a high standard, make it a golden standard for the industry. So if we will reach the times, the destination when this will be accepted by the wide range of operators, and they will be doing this because they really want to protect players and to shrink the window for gambling harm, then we will know that we have succeeded in this. So engagement and involvement from the industry is very important in this. And there is also one more thing that is sort of one of the pillars which we consider for the global self-exclusion, is that we would like to make a stronger connection with the problem gambling help organizations to be able to engage with the self-excluded players, because as it comes from a lot of researches, and it is more or less even a common sense that for a problem gambler to self-excluding themselves is just the beginning, just the first step towards recovery, and the connection with the health gambling center is very important. That's why we are trying to engage with every kind of stakeholder in the industry. I'm talking with operators, I'm talking with regulators, also with representatives of problem gambling help organizations, and trying to address the feedback I'm receiving and to move forward with creating the scheme which would be, I mean, reliable and beneficial for the whole industry. You were asking about the academy as well, right?
Yeah, I think I realize now actually that's probably worth a question on its own, because these are two big concepts. Before we go into the academy, just a quick follow up on the self-exclusion program. Obviously, you talked about the many different bodies you're kind of reaching out to, and how much support and have you kind of seen and received from the industry so far, and how much do you need to really make it work?
Yeah, I have to say that the majority of the support is coming from the individual discussions which I'm having. It's difficult to gain a specific support or even a specific reaction or comment for creation a global scheme from the organizations directly. What I'm doing is I'm trying to cover my work for each month, because I believe the transparency in this is very important, as the feedback from the industry is very important and their engagement is very important. I'm trying to do my best to collect these reactions and show what the industry has said to me. All right, I was talking with a regulator from that country. Okay, they believe that this is not something that they really can implement for this time. All right, I'm going to another regulator. All right, they are saying that it might be a good project, but for their mandate and for their focus, which is for this time focused only to their specific jurisdiction, to their domestic country, they really can do anything about it. For the operators, yes, of course, generally they are perceiving it in a very positive way, but it's very hard for them to make any kind of commitment to it. It's something that I believe they see as something which is important, but the timing for it maybe needs a bit more work to do, a bit more development in responsible gambling and harmonization of the responsible gambling policies around the world. But that's what the initiative was created for. We would like to create fundamentals for something, then when the situation will be right, will be able to be created, because we believe that this really could help a very high number of players.
Yeah, I think the points you've mentioned there kind of sums up the work there is still to be done. As you say, harmonization, there's a lot of progress to be made in this area, a lot of room for improvement. We can go on to the academy now, which as you mentioned, is perhaps maybe slightly less to do with responsible gambling, but certainly still to do with kind of helping players and helping staff, ensure players know everything is up to scratch in terms and conditions. And I mean, I'll let you tell me more about that.
All right. So, I mean, as I mentioned, this is coming from our work with complaints mainly. I mean, we've started to see that there are certain cases and certain complaints which are repeating. I mean, which are not specifically for any, direct location, but cases which can be handled quite very easily and which can be solved very easily are troubling for some operators. So we have started to see that there are certain areas and certain pressure points which, if solved or erased, can really increase the player experience and their satisfaction with the operators. So basically, this is the know-how which we have gained from our work, and we have decided to give this know-how out to, create learning materials, to create an academy for customer support departments in which they can see what we have learned from our experience and possibly take advantage from. When the academy will be completed, we would like to have it as comprehensive materials for the operation of customer support in online casinos and the best practices for handling the cases. At this moment, we have created the initial course, which is focused on fundamentals and also includes general information about the online gambling industry, how it works, what really are behind those turning slot machines, and what career you can get from it. Because what we have learned is that the customer support position is one of the most common points of entry for the industry. So we wanted to create some fundamental education program which would basically show the people what will they encounter if they will work as a customer support representative, and what they can expect from the job in the matter of career and in the matter of their progress. And on the other hand, for the talent acquisition representatives, or the people which are hiring them, the operators, that could help them with the onboarding process and with the hiring of these new respondents for this. I think that's basically it. At this moment, we are working on a course for bonuses, in which we would like to include the comprehensive information about the bonuses, as we see that these are one of the most common subjects for complaints. And we would like to also include our recommendations, how the setting of the bonuses should be in order for the players to understand them, in order for the players to be happy about them, and to decrease the number of complaints and misunderstanding that you can have. And also we will be including the specific cases which we've had over there. One more thing is important to mention in the academy. All of our courses are and will be for free. That's why I was saying that we would like to give out this knowledge to the outside world. But the important thing is we are trying to do this in cooperation with other industry professionals. More than 50 customer representative agents and managers have reviewed and feedbacked our first course, and we have reflected this and updated it. And also for our upcoming courses, we are looking for partners, and we are trying to make these learning materials as a result of collective knowledge, as for widely accessible courses. We believe that this is the best approach to really pick those little pieces from the different sides of the industry, from the different experience, and put it into something which will reflect the best practice and which will help operators to set the right standard, whether they are a big operator already and trying to improve their customer experience and their customer support process, or whether they are starting a new little operator which is just trying to set up these standards. I couldn't really think about any other accessible source which they will be able to get one day when, I don't know, someone will realize, all right, I am starting to run an online casino, how I should make it in order to be sustainable, how I should make it in order to be, in order to do it good, So this is the reason why we've made the academy.
Yeah, all makes sense. Looking from an objective point of view, I think it's fair to say Casino Guru using its platform as an affiliate to try and make a difference in these areas. And we've covered a lot of ground already. And final couple of questions really that I wanted to talk to you about. On the point I just made about Casino Guru trying to make a difference. Why is there maybe so much scrutiny on operators when it comes to responsible gambling, and perhaps less on affiliates? affiliates kind of seen as they can sort of get on with their work and maybe not get as involved in, I suppose, exactly the kind of things Casino Guru is at the moment getting involved in.
Yeah, I mean, I can talk only from my experience about this, but I think the main reason for this is that the operators are more accessible for the regulators and also for the wide public, which is at some point creating a pressure on operators to make regulations, to set limits for the gambling within their jurisdiction. So, I mean, operators are heavily regulated. They need to have a license. They need to go with the certain requirements. And for the affiliates, they are generally regarded as just the websites which are promoting those casinos. And most commonly, there are less strict regulatory frameworks. And as I said, I think that it's because there is better reach it's better reach from the regulators on the operators, and that's why these advertising regulations for affiliates are based on standards, more or less. They are not highly enforced and not really able to be enforced. But I think that this is something that is changing or will change sometime in the future, because not only the regulators but also the wide public is realizing how much there is an impact from affiliates on the gambling habits of the population. And some jurisdictions, they are also reflecting it. I mean, for New Jersey, if I'm not wrong, you have to have a specific license as an affiliate. There are also two types of licenses. And I am aware that it is in consideration for the UK revision, for their revision of the Gambling Act to license the operators. What is also a good thing to do, I believe, is the current setting of UK, where the operators are more or less responsible for their affiliates. They can be prosecuted if the affiliates are promoting them in some way, so they should safeguard who is promoting them. And I think that is at least something that is setting not only the standards, but the certain requirements for the affiliates. And I am aware that some jurisdictions and their regulators that are trying to enforce their limitations and shutting down websites. I think that it is currently a reality in the Netherlands when they are trying to safeguard the promotion aimed towards Dutch players and trying to go after this these affiliates. So I think it's caused by the general perspective on the gambling. I mean, primarily the operators are seen as to have the negative impact on gambling, and less focus is made on the affiliates. But nevertheless, I think that there is still kind of a stigma which is lying on affiliates. On one hand, they are not very much perceived by a wider public as something negative, but on the other hand, I believe that from inside the industry, they can be perceived as just those websites which are promoting us and which are not have any kind of real impact for the industry, which are doing their minimum requirements or just this minimum viable informations about responsible gambling, and not have much to influence in the market. And I think that this could be changed, and we are trying to change this. There are also other organizations and other affiliate sites which are trying to prove this wrong and really to make some impact, some positive change on the industry. So I think that this is something which become very important in the upcoming years.
I want to pick up on the word you mentioned, change there, going to my last question, last but not least. When it comes to change and progress, how much can kind of the industry truly achieve, how much progress can really be made in this area, you know, in the coming sort of year or so, looking at maybe 2022 as kind of a rough, you know, time measure?
I think that is very hard to say. I mean, how much can be done for this area, and this is in short time setting, but because currently the development and the progression in this area, I think that it is being done, but it's very slow, and I think it's mainly caused because simply the pressure is not high enough. I mean, it's also connected with the regulatory requirements and the enforcement possibilities which are connected to this, which are not very high, so they are not making a lot of pressure on affiliates to change their behavior. And on the other hand, which is making the positive impact, but not in a very, I would say, fast pace, is the setting and promoting of the best practices and these high standards from the leaders in the industry, which is contributing, but very slowly. And I couldn't really say how will this accelerate in the upcoming months and how this will change. I mean, we have seen some initiatives for the past couple of months which were trying to promote the responsible gambling among the affiliates. But what I believe is important for this area, when you are trying to self-regulate, we are trying to set the best practice without any specific regulation, is your activity. You have to be very proactive, you have to open the discussions, you have to stick your head among every other affiliates and try to say them and try to explain them why this is important to do, why this is important to do for the whole industry, but and this is important, but also for yourself. I mean, because at the end of the day, they will be looking at their spreadsheets and they will be making a raw business decisions. So it's also important to show why this is beneficial for them at the second place. So yeah, I think that the resolution of the UK revision of their Gambling Act will show us much and will influence the markets in the EU and I think even beyond. And I am also curious how will the evolvement of online gambling continue in US, because they are doing really a lot in the matter of responsible gambling. I believe that they understand the importance of this, the importance for the sustainability of the whole industry. And I hope that it will also influence their affiliate side. So I'm quite positive about the future. I just cannot really say how fast it will be, how the acceleration of this responsible gambling standards among the affiliates will go.
Absolutely, yeah. I think very, very interesting to pick up on US, and certainly as someone based in the UK, yeah, I can tell you we're very much awaiting the gambling review and what comes out of that, and if there'll be real change. And like you say, it should form as a basis for other regulators, really. Shimon, I'd like to thank you very much for your time. We discussed a lot of good stuff, and it was a real pleasure to speak with you.
Yeah, the pleasure is mine. Yeah, thanks for having me, Tim.
No problem, and good luck to Casino Guru with the exclusion program, academy, and all your other initiatives as well.
Yeah, thank you very much. Take care.
So that was our penultimate talk of today's edition. And like I said, we've had Tower on the All-Star panel. We've had a talk on bingo and casino streaming. And there we addressed responsible gambling. So again, we'd like to think a very varied schedule so far. But no affiliate schedule would be complete without a talk on casino specifically, because we know online casino right now is absolutely on the rise. So we're going to go back to Maria for this one. And Maria is going to talk to Mark Taylor, owner of Casino Whizz. And they're going to talk about the ups and downs of being a casino affiliate.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm very happy to be speaking to another affiliate today, Mark Taylor, owner of Casino Whizz. Hi, Mark. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, good.
To start off, can you share a bit more about you, your journey in the gambling industry, and how did you get into the affiliate business?
Sure. Originally, when my interest in the gambling industry started in Costa Rica many years back, I was there when there was a big boom of sports books, online casinos, and back then I think there was around about 200 different sports books and casinos in Costa Rica. That's changed a lot now. A lot of them sold out. A lot of the big companies were sold out, and they're now based in Europe, in Malta or Gibraltar. And when I came back to Europe in 2009, I started an affiliate site, which was originally a sports betting site. It's no longer around because things have changed since then. But at the time, it became pretty successful. And then obviously, with regards to sports betting, as you know, in off season, which is summertime, there's very little money to be made, which is where Casino Whizz come from. It initially started as a site to take up the slack from the sports betting sites in summertime, so I could keep making some money in those 3 months where it got slow for sports betting. Ultimately, it ended up a lot bigger than the sports betting site.
That's great, Mike. Very clever strategy. Now, being a successful affiliate in this industry is certainly very challenging because you have to put up quality content all the time and stay on top of SEO trends. What are the biggest challenges that you have faced as an affiliate?
Well, the biggest challenge is the Google algorithm. It's always changing. And with regards to the content, to find good quality content or to produce good quality content, it's not easy because there's around about 88 million sites all doing the same thing. And what a lot of them do will just typically rewrite the content of others. So you need to be a pioneer in this case and actually create your own content. And this is what separates us between other affiliate sites. Is a lot of them are just rewrites or what I call mediocre, just rundowns of what a game or what a casino should be. We actually test and play the games thoroughly. We gamble on them, and then we write up the experiences afterwards. So when you look at the content that we produce, you'll typically find that it's designed for the higher end of the market. People that actually play the games at a higher level. See, if you're a regular slot player, you don't just want information, you want everything. So my idea was to set out and become kind of like the top gear of the slots and casino industry.
That's great. And like you've just mentioned the slots, I know it's important to keep up to date with the latest slots being launched, and you need to review them to get more traffic, but there's so many being launched basically on a weekly basis. Is it hard to actually stay up to date with those?
It is, yeah, because I think literally, I mean, just from like micro gaming or quick spin, or you can see around about 20-30 games sometimes a month. I think on average there's around about 200 new games, slot games, with all the different providers being launched every month. Obviously, we don't cover all of them. We tend to cover the most popular games or the most popular brands, because there are some brands which don't get much traffic or don't get much search. So there's no point wasting time on those, and we just focus on the ones that people do want, especially with like Yggdrasil, Betsoft, and real-time gaming. Those seem to be pretty popular right now.
Great. And now I cannot mention the pandemic. So last year, online casino boomed because we had a period of time with no sports. Now, when that happened, did you have to double down your efforts because a lot of competitors emerged and you have to stay ahead of them? How was last year for you?
A lot of competitors did emerge, but the thing is, with any time there's a new site, it takes time to get anywhere. So at the moment, we're still holding strong where we are. And one of the big things I noticed with the pandemic, although we got a lot more traffic, there was also a lot more withdrawals, more than usual. Like typically people would keep the money in the casino or and keep playing the games, but this time around people were withdrawing, and that doesn't usually happen. And I think that was based on the pandemic, where a lot of people weren't going to work, or they weren't, people were panicking. So the withdrawals were a lot higher than usual.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and now sports is back. We've had a major tournament. Did you ever consider getting into the sports betting space again? You mentioned you've worked there already.
Yeah, I mean, I was there, but now I'd rather dedicate my time on more casino sites than I would on sports betting. I mean, it's a big market, it's a saturated market, but also for me personally, the earning, the financial aspects of it, I do a lot better off on the casino side than I do the sports side.
Good. And have you ever thought about getting into casino streaming? Because that's becoming popular.
Not really. From what I know of casino, this is from my personal experience of people that I know of that actually do casino streaming. I know there's been more restrictions coming down with Twitch and that sort of stuff. But what I found is that the player value for those people isn't very high. And what's happening now is a lot more of the casinos are more reluctant to pay higher rev share or higher CPAs for that kind of traffic. At the end of it, the king of traffic is organic. And then I would say pay-per-click's good, but I think that the best traffic, from my experience, is organic, especially if you can get hold of some of the more lucrative keywords.
Very interesting. And in terms of regulation, affiliates are often in the spotlight. Is it hard for you to keep up with like what's the latest regulation? Where do you get the information from?
It usually comes as a surprise. Just one day, I know with certain like e-wallets now, one moment they're in one country and then they just disappear, and then you've lost them over 40, 50 countries. Then you notice the revenue share going down there. And usually you don't get told about it until the final minute. So it is kind of like a cat and mouse game. So you always, like, especially with, for instance, the UK's changing all the time. Germany's just changed. I remember when Holland changed and Sweden changed. So it's changing all the time. So you've just got to be consistent in changing your focus. I think right now we're starting to focus more on Canada and New Zealand, which seems to be quite light on restrictions at the moment, but they'll give us a good backup in case any more of the countries drop on us.
Yeah, it's just crazy regulation.
Yeah.
I also noticed you have a section on casinos about Bitcoin casinos. What is your take on the crypto trend? Will more online casinos start accepting cryptocurrencies? Would that open more opportunities for casino affiliates?
Sure. I mean, actually, Bitcoin casino, that is probably, online casino is a really hard keyword, but anything with the word Bitcoin and casino together, that's probably the most difficult market to target. And my opinion is, yes, there will be more crypto. The casinos at the moment, they seem to accept the larger cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. But what they need to do is open up and become, I think, have just as many options as the exchange of some of the less known or but more popular things like Dogecoin or the new one, which is Shiba coin as well, which seems to be trending. There should be, I think casinos need to be open up a little bit because there's a lot of current crypto floating around in different types of coins. So at the moment, it seems to cover the big coins, but as you've seen, they can crash pretty quickly. When they start to crash, people tend to move over to the more safe or smaller options, not to lose so much money.
It is an interesting topic for sure, cryptocurrencies and casinos. We've been following it for a while, and I'm sure there will be more things to talk about.
10% of my affiliate earnings typically come from crypto, but what I have found, one of the bonus points of crypto is that we do tend to get larger players.
That's very interesting, actually, very interesting insight. I have only like a couple more questions. What advice would you give those who are thinking of starting a casino affiliate website?
Prepare yourself for at least 2 years. And right now, things have changed from when I opened up the sports betting site in 2009, then Casino Whizz in 2016, now 2021. It is a lot harder, especially with the new algorithm, the way everything works. The trust from Google will take you at least a year and a half to gain some kind of trust, to get some kind of traffic with keywords that will actually give you any kind of earning.
Right. And lastly, are there any exciting new projects that you're working on?
Yes, I have launched another site which is using the same custom software for which we use at Casino Whizz, which was developed and designed by Elegance Themes. Sorry, Elegance Themes, no, Elegance. Cut that part out because I can't remember the full name. But they designed, they also designed a few of the other big affiliate websites out there, like Casino Tops Online and a couple of others on there. But we've launched onlinecasinos2.com, obviously because online casinos wasn't available. So online casino is mainly just for the keyword part of it and the And that is just like, we've been working on that one for around about 6 months. The traffic is slow, is really slow, but I'm looking at the impressions right now, and the impressions are growing. I'm just waiting for the trust and the authority side to kick in. Then I expect to see some sort of large growth pretty quickly. And that's the thing, when you've got a new site now, and even when you create a new page, it used to be you could rank pretty quickly for it, but now it's a case of Google, if you look at the top 3, those pages have been there for at least 3 years plus. So that's what you're kind of looking at if you want to get into the top 3. And it's very hard to go after a highly competitive keyword or page or website, put it on there and get into the top 20 within a year. I haven't seen it for a while. Everyone that's on the front page in Google has been there for at least 5+ years now.
Wow. Well, best of luck. I'm sure you have a great success with your new project. Thank you again for speaking to me and for your time. And I will catch up with you again very soon, see how the new project is going. Thank you, Mark.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Bye.
A huge thanks to our interviewer, Maria, there, and our interviewee, Mark, for talking us through the ups and downs of being a casino affiliate. That rounds up our content for AffiliateCon Virtually Live for today. We'd like to thank all of our supporting brands and, of course, our viewers. Until next time, be sure to sign up to affiliatecon.com and keep an eye out for the next AffiliateCon Virtually Live, where we'll have plenty more engaging affiliate content for you. For now, we hope you've enjoyed today's show. Until next time, goodbye.